Hello, and welcome to yet another Q&A Thursday over here at the Rag Company Podcast YouTube channel. Nice to have you with us. See, you've got a camera over here. I've got a camera over there. We've been messing around with the layout in here because there were some comments where people were kind of getting hung up on individual screens of everybody being laid out next to each other, which I thought was nice because you could see facial expressions. But some people said it was disorienting. They couldn't get a sense of the space in the room. Right, so this way, we're sitting next to each other. We're able to make this work. Over here in the corner, we'll keep messing around with it as time goes on. But for now,
we got to remember, we got to get Anthony back in the studio. So you guys have probably noticed Anthony Fisher is in the comments.
He is.
So he is standing on his own 2 feet. He's wandering around. He will be back in the office Monday.
Yeah, that's the plan. And since we're talking about things on Monday, I've got a little test stream I'm going to try and do on Monday. So I might as well mention it at the top here because you guys are kind of the target audience for this sort of thing. Some of you may miss, like when we used to talk about our weekends, or we'd do that old What's in Store segment. Remember that was kind of like a 2020-ish kind of time period. We used to go in our storefront. We used to show hey, let's highlight a product today. What are we talking about? And we can kind of do that. I thought, well, why not do a super low production value stream? Just not a bunch of fancy gear and stuff.
The old days of the
whipping
Q&A.
Out the old dumpster, hang kind of camera setup with a mic, and we just kind of shoot the breeze. But we do it over at the new storefront.
Yeah, a lot of people haven't seen it.
Detail Supply. So I think that would be really cool. So if you're over on the Rag Company Podcast YouTube channel here, you can take a look. Add the notify me button there if you're here on YouTube, because you're watching right now. You should be. Just, go click like on that, set a little notification, and it'll give you a heads up when we go live on Monday, because I'm really looking to get a lot of people interested in that. If it does well, we'll probably do it again, but there's no guarantees we'd do it again, because if it doesn't do well, then we'll just try something different.
I like it.
Time. So, it's up to you guys. No pressure.
All right. So, you guys, for those of you just tuning in, this is Q&A Thursday here at the Rag Company. I'm Levi Gates. That is Dane Hennon right there. And, of course, we have Anthony Fisher here seated in between us in memory. But he's in the comments answering those questions.
He's alive.
He's in the machine now.
He is alive. So, he's a ghost in the machine.
He is answering he'll be helping out, answering your comments and questions as well. This is, like we say, Friday Eve. This is where you get to ask your questions, all your detailing related questions, products, all kinds of stuff, chemicals, uses, favorites, towels, everything that has to do with detailing.
Yeah, bud.
Please throw them down there in the comments. We are going to try and get to every single one, unless it's hey, so-and-so, good to see you. Or, there's 10 of you that are commenting. I'm going to say hi to all 10 of you individually. We're not going to answer those. And we know that. You guys, the old hats that have been here for a long time, we don't do that. So feel free. You can say hi to each other in the comments, but we want to answer as many questions as possible that our guests have. Now, Dane, housekeeping.
Yes. So we have housekeeping, don't we?
Couple things. We
got some things going on. Levi, tell me about those. I'm curious. What's going on at theragcompany.com?
Well, for theragcompany.com, we just wrapped up our 4th of July sale.
Yeah.
Good sale. There was some great things some good deals that were to be had from everybody. The other thing you may not have noticed or have noticed, if you haven't signed up for the newsletter, well, we got the PNS Off-Road there. If you go all the way to the bottom of the Rag Company page right here, you scroll all the way down, you sign up for the newsletter. If you have not signed up yet, you can right there at Having FOMO, put in your name, put in the email address, and we will be notifying you of, upcoming sales, upcoming merch drops, like that picture of me wearing the Rag Company baseball jersey looking so fresh. But we got that going. But then here's the other thing. With the newsletter, you are going to be notified when new videos drop, like what just dropped yesterday on our YouTube channel of me and Lucas reading some Reddit, looking through some Reddit pictures of details. And
the people love Lucas. They enjoyed him on last week's Q&A. They should enjoy him in the React video. If they haven't seen that, go check it out, guys.
Yeah, but that's when you're notified when also new videos drop that you might be interested in. We also are now using that for the email blast to let you know, for those of you that are signed up, hey, there's a new video, and maybe here's the products that we used so that you can then maybe pick up or put on your list. Hey, oh, that was a great video. I need to get me some of that stuff.
Heck yeah.
So we got that going on. The other thing, and Glenn, we're going to pop back onto the website again just for fun. But going back to the ragcompany.com here, right up there at the top, events. I cannot click on this enough. The events page, this is our calendar of stuff going on at the Rag Company. We just last week had a PPF class from Avery Dennison.
People asked for years for this.
They've been wanting it. We only had 12 people show up to that class.
Yeah, come on, guys.
So we had room for 15. We got 12. Not too bad, but there was still room for 3 more people that wanted to take that class. But coming up, August 10th, a meet and greet. Matt Mormon and the Garage and the Obsessed Garage team are. We got to. Oh, she spelled his name wrong. We're gonna have to put an E at the end of that.
Different kind of Mormon.
Yeah, or an E in the R. So Matt and his team are coming to the Rag Company to work and finish up our studio, but they are going to be in the store August 10th for a meet and greet from 10 to 1 at MVP. So if you're local to Boise or local to Idaho and you want to come up on August 10th, come say hi to Matt and the team. He's bringing 5 or 6 guys with him or something like that.
Got a crew.
He's got the crew coming from OG headquarters. They're going to spend a few days with us. We got that. Then in the following month in September, we're going to be at Auto Mechanica. So all of our friends in Europe, UK, all that stuff. If you guys are going to Auto Mechanica, you'll be able to. I'll be there. You can come say hi.
Make your way to Germany.
For those of you going this weekend to Waxstock, you will notice we are not there. The Rag Company is sponsoring, and Clean and Shiny and the guys from Rag Company UK are going to be holding down the fort for us over there. But make sure you say hi. Hans is the main ambassador, if you will, over there for the Rag Company. He's going to be in attendance, wandering around, and of course Alan Medcraft will be there, hanging out, MCing. But then in October, we've got another Supreme Wrap class from Avery Dennison. So make sure you guys, if you want to get into vinyl wrapping or anything like that, you can jump into that class. Great class. Comes with all the tools and a roll of film at the end, your choice of film, which is super cool. And it's basically everything you need to get started. It's pretty rad. So that's it. I just wanted to put that up there. We also are going to be having a Rupes class, training class, a level 2 sanding and whatnot.
Okay.
More polishing class coming in October. So we just got confirmation of that. That is also going to be going up on the events page. So for you guys wondering, how do I get some training? How do I get to do this, or where are you guys going to be at? That's the goal of the events page. That's why it's on the website. So I cannot stress this enough. Go to the events page, see what it is. We are also putting in the links on that events page so you can register for the class or things like that, because like the sanding correction class from Rupes, I believe is $350. The wrap class is about $1,000. So some of those things do cost, but like the meet and greet, it's going to be free.
Yeah.
Just come show up. Come say hi.
If you want to buy stuff in the store, you can. Nobody's going to stop you. But at the same time, it's just
we're gonna stop you so that you buy it.
Oh well, okay.
Yeah, we don't want you just not stop.
I don't want you just grabbing it and walking out the door.
Correct.
Yeah,
Yes.
Connor wouldn't like that very much.
No. So, but those are the biggest things. But we want to make sure everybody's staying cool. We got a national heat wave going through this week around the entire country.
We're on week 3 of triple digits.
Yeah, pretty
with
wild.
A few little 98-degree high breaks in between.
Yeah,
so barely
yesterday
counts.
Was great when it got dark and cloudy and rain
and then
for
the
a
clouds
sec.
went away and suddenly we were triple digits.
Yeah, nuts. So before we get into the comments, as we get people getting back into the swing of things, doing Q&A and us all being in here, Dane, I want to tell you a story.
Ooh, story time.
So you guys know my love of crows and ravens.
You do love crows and ravens.
So, in the evenings during our bedtime routine, my children get their melatonin that they each take before bed. So it's brush your hair, brush your teeth, grab your melatonin, time for bed, right?
Okay.
So maybe after we've read a story or we've sang some songs or whatever that my kids want to do, before bedtime, that's what they do. So the melatonin is placed at the back of the house in the kitchen. And you've been to my home. You see it. You can look out the back window into the backyard or through the patio doors. There is a tree in the yard, 1 yard over.
Yeah.
Giant tree.
Big
full tree. At sundown or at dusk, right at sunset, full of crows.
Oh.
Every night it has been full of crows. As I put my children to bed and I go, oh, that's weird. There's a lot of crows in that tree. Why are they not in my yard eating my delicious peanuts and sunflower seeds and things that I've left out for them?
You bring them offerings.
Right. So I'm like, there's plenty of crows hanging out there. So I told my wife, and she goes, it's crazy, weird. So then we go out, after we put the children to bed on the cooler evenings, we go out to the Jarl's Hangout, Dane.
Yeah.
Out front, the fire pit. Light the skulls on fire, turn the patio lights on, and just enjoy a peaceful moment with the wife in the Jarl's Hangout as we wave to our neighbors in the dusk.
Yeah.
Right? Usually, right about that same time, an entire murder of crows flies over our heads and over the Jarl's Hangout. It's quite a spectacular sight. It's beautiful. And I'm talking 75 crows, 25 to 75 crows flying overhead.
That's intense.
At night. It's the coolest thing. And so that's become one of our favorite things to do in the last 2 weeks. Carly and I try and time it for the flying of the crows, of the flight of the murder over our heads in the Jarl's Hangout, which is great. And it is literally right overhead. It's nuts. Yeah. I can't explain it. So last night we were watching, and I got there early enough out the back to see them fly from different directions, land in the tree, and then hang out 15 minutes or so.
Yeah.
They all sit together in the tree, hang out, tell stories, talk, do whatever. And then they all fly off in different directions as different murders.
Okay.
Here's the thing. I don't know. I've never seen that. I don't know what it is. I'm not a corvid expert yet. I'm a corvid expert in training. Okay. Not received my honorary doctorate yet in corvid studies.
Got to work on that.
But I Googled last night afterwards, because then we watched them, and they flew over the house. One murder flew over the house. The other murder flew to the north. The other one flew to the south. And I was like, wow. And they broke up. 75 crows, about 20 to 25 in each one. And I go, that's cool. I wonder where they're going. And Carly goes, I don't know. So we look it up. So they're headed back to their roost. They meet in the tallest point in their territory.
Okay.
Every evening at sunset, one, to share stories and talk about where they found food, things to watch out for, their family units that we found out. So doing a little research on them, found out this family unit of crows can be up to 75 to 200 in a family unit. And then they break into smaller family units that are primarily parents, children, maybe with an aunt or an uncle, maybe with a cousin or a few, but they tend to stay. So what you've got are basically 3 family units on top of a tree, meeting every evening at sunset to discuss the day's topics. Then they all fly off to their respective roosts where they all sleep, and they try to do it all before sundown. And why? Because there are great horned owls that hunt them at night. And I have 2 giant great horned owls in my neighborhood that I've seen on walks.
Yeah.
It was fascinating, Dane. It was one of those things I was like, this is awesome. So then I told Carly, you know what we got to do next? Follow the crows to find out where they roost and what tree they're in, so we can drop off some peanuts and stuff.
I'm with Charlie. I got to brush up on my bird law.
I know, right? Okay. So anyway, I just thought that was a super cool little story.
No, it's interesting.
That was like so fast. I didn't even know that. Like, I was just like, well, that's kind of cool. And then I did a little research. I'm like, oh my gosh, that's amazing. Because I have literally had a great horned owl land in my yard the other night. Like, that was about a year ago. But just like, I pulled up coming back from the grocery store, got out of the car, and it came flying in and landed on like the fence post. I'm like, oh,
hi there.
Hi. Yeah, I literally said that. I was like, hi.
I don't know if you've like met an owl in person. They're intimidating.
And they're huge.
Like, so, yeah, no, it's not a light undertaking.
No, not at all.
Anyway, we've got a lot of comments.
Let's get these questions. Let's get going here, guys. Thank you for tuning in and getting ready. Here we go. It is
Levi's stories.
Friday Eve.
All right.
What was the Spencer Mation one? Oh, okay.
That was from the other day.
Okay.
That wasn't new.
First from Puerto Rico, Umberto with a hello TRC team. Hello, Umberto.
Of course, hello, Umberto.
Dan Pfeiffer wouldn't be Q&A Thursday without it. Good afternoon. Word up from Minnesota, USA. Happy Friday Eve, TRC gang. Looking forward to Q&A. How's Anthony? He is doing well. He is walking around. He's standing up. Like we said, the hardest part for him right now is bending over, putting on his shoes.
Oh, yeah.
He said just the action of
makes sense
of that has been the biggest, most difficult thing. He was laughing that he needs a shoehorn so he can put on his shoes, because he just says It's just a little more difficult. But he's super excited. He's got some family coming into town this weekend, so he's excited to see everybody and spend the weekend doing that. So
nice.
But yeah, he's doing well.
Yeah, I certainly hope we see him next week like we're planning.
Yeah. And David, Dairy Tire, Dairy Eater? Derriter?
It's like Derriere, but it's Dairy Tear.
Dairy Tear.
That's what I'm going to
say
go
hello all. What's up, David? Let's call him Double D's.
Double D. All right.
And then Grand F with a yurt.
Yurt. And this was my question of the day. I'm trying to like do more of this to get people involved. And I thought, here's a really simple one people can kind of buy into. Because last week it was pet peeves. Like what is a thing in detailing that's just like it always comes up, and it could be anything. People say something to you, or it could be something you run into. Yeah, kind of bugs you.
Well, I told you mine, isn't it?
Irks. I didn't hear yours.
So mine specifically is when I had my shop.
Okay.
I would get a customer that would try and get a discount on their vehicle. And what they would say is, could I get a discount? I'm going to bring you a ton of work.
Yeah.
I have a lot of cars. My family has a ton of cars, and I know a lot of people. And so I could bring you a ton of work if you'd give me a discount on this detail that I'm doing right now. Yeah. And I said, and that was, I always saw it and heard of it. I never actually received it until one customer walked in the door, and I detailed his car for him.
No, Lucas and I discussed that particular phenomenon.
He works here now.
It happens.
Yeah, he works
funny
here.
How that works.
Yeah, his name starts with a G and ends with an E.
It ends with an Abe.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah,
it was him. He's the only person, literally the only person that ever, because I'd always see it on Facebook.
Mm-hmm.
What do you do about customers that are going to tell you they've got lots of friends and family and they're going to get you lots of shit, but then they never do?
Mm-hmm.
That was my one person, and it happened to be Gabe. Crazy.
Credit where it's due.
But hey, he does know a lot of people, and he does have a lot of cars. I've gotten to know him very well over the last decade.
Yeah.
So he wasn't lying. I didn't get any cars from it.
Yeah, he had a lot of cars, but I guess it was very selective what made its way through. Thanks for working on my Miata.
Oh, you're welcome.
Yeah,
you're welcome.
By the way, really appreciate it.
I actually had a lot of fun with that one.
I thought you would, because it was pink when I brought it to you. Let's see. Next up. Well, actually, I should have said on the TRC thing. I was saying this week, I wanted to know what your actual, like, my question of the week was going to be. What's your go-to product for a specific kind of job? Like, I'm not throwing a specific job at you. It's just when you think of what's my go-to product, you probably think of a specific job.
My number one product, regardless of the job, is always going to be rinseless washed, diluted in a sprayer, ready to rock. Like, it is the most versatile thing because, like, I installed a hood, a range hood in our kitchen this weekend.
Yeah,
I had all the stainless, done it all up, fingerprints all over it.
Oh,
what did I do? Walked out to the garage, pulled a couple ripping rags, grabbed a bottle of rinseless, whether it was either RRW or Absolute. I don't know which one it was because I'm out of O&R at the moment. But I just sprayed a couple sprays on the rag, walked back in the house, wiped down the fingerprints off because it's amazing on stainless, and voila. But that is my number one always before I do anything.
Yeah. Awesome. No, I love that. And like, admittedly, I'm not detailing nearly as much as you guys, but if I think about the product I probably laid hands on the most over the last decade, it's going to be a rinseless wash too, because there's just so many ways you can use it.
Yeah, let's say you spill something on the armrest or something, and that's what you have in your garage. You're going to reach for that.
Easy. You got a premix bottle laying around.
Yep.
It's the go-to, at least as far as I'm concerned, and you too, it sounds like.
Yeah.
All right. Let's see what some of you say. Go figure.
David, I love Bead Maker for every exterior job. There you go. It's a nice one.
No, that's a good one. And Umberto kind of weighing in a little bit.
Rinseless first, since you can do lots with it inside and outside. Yeah. It's really a jack of all trades.
Yeah, for real. Oh, look at that. We got an all-day Anthony in the chat, popping up, being very helpful.
Nice. Here for the detail.
Nice to see him here.
And then Umberto with my uncle also was a chemistry, physics, and biology professor at the University of Puerto Rico, Ponce campus, and always said it was revolutionary.
Very cool.
Yeah, with rinseless. Yeah, it's truly amazing. Like, it's nuts.
It goes
Anthony,
a long way.
sorry, man. Hang the detail. Hang. Yeah.
And then everybody asking Anthony how his back's doing.
Dan Pfeiffer with a bead maker.
Product yellers. We love them.
Love that. Bead maker. And Rick, hello TRC crew. That thumbnail, you're welcome.
Yep. No, you guys took the picture. I had no input in that, but as soon as I saw it, I was like, "Oh, I'm gonna use that." And then you guys are like, "You should put a disclaimer on there that people shouldn't drink products." And I'm like, "Do we really
It's
have
a
to?"
upcoming video utilizing solution finish and over the top.
So it's a little preview of something yet to
I think you guys will like that video. We tried to have some fun with it too.
No, I'm glad you guys did that. But thought you guys might click on this just because of the thumbnail.
Yeah. Anthony with a pain-free since the op. Knocks on wood.
Very good to see. And David Boyce here saying, need more Lucas on the live podcast. Who's with me?
Oh, that's nice.
No, Lucas is great. He did a very good job last week.
Nice.
And I really liked seeing him in the React with you. That was fun. So, we want to have Lucas more on the programs when we can. But, same time, he's also got a job to do that's very important. He's like the customer service
Him
guy
and Aaron are doing
in
customer
particular
service.
with Aaron. So
we do have a new customer service kid popping in. It's helping out.
Right.
Brandon. It's going to be. He's also pretty awesome. So it's good little team.
No, that's true. But he's going to be learning for a little while. So we've got to make sure that we have our A-team working.
His RAV4.
Yeah, looking good.
Looks amazing.
Okay,
boy keeps his stuff
I haven't seen
tight.
It yet. I'll take your word for
Clean. Yeah, it's a first gen RAV4 too.
Oh, fun.
Yeah.
You know what? Do you ever see the little 2-door convertible ones of those?
No.
Anywhere?
No.
I have a neighbor with one.
Do you?
It's so exciting. Like they're rare in hen's teeth, but they're such cool little.
Yeah.
I guess you could call them a soft rotor.
Yeah.
They're cool though.
Nice,
it's like a little samurai. Yeah. Anyway, I got Dan Pfeiffer here. I like the full shot. Yeah. This ain't so bad, right? Yes. So we have Hans. Obviously, Hans checking in.
Hello, towel people. What's up, Hans?
Hello.
We were bummed we're not going to be able to see you this weekend.
I know. I'm sorry,
Just have
Hans.
to come to Auto Mechanica and hang out with me in Germany.
There you go.
And then Hans, who's that guy in the middle, though?
Yeah, we realize some of you are off in the future listening to this and you don't know what he's referencing. It's the picture of Anthony in between us. Yes, and so people are noticing we are live now. Thank you for that, Al and Rick.
My go-to interior cleaner is Typhon from Phoenix.
Typhon. That one's cool. And then we got David here just saying hi to Hans. See, this is what happens. There's a lot of back and forth in the comments. Just people having conversations.
Hans says, I'll be missing my TRC brothers at Waxstock this weekend. We will be 2-man. Hope you have fun. Hold down the fort for us. You are the Rag Company ambassador. Just tell John Hole that. Yeah. Hans says, I keep thinking about the minor towel. Has a slightly shorter nap than the 365s. Am I just feeling it wrong? No, it's pretty similar. They're all identical. It just might be that the darker dye has that tendency to make it feel like that.
Yeah, so that's about the only difference between those.
Yeah, look at his mustache, Jane. Look at what I can do.
What's going on there?
I can make it like pop up a little bit.
You're trying to twist it up.
No, I'm not a lot. I'm just trying to get a little cowboy.
Yeah,
right?
Yeah. You're going for more of a early 1900s, late 1800s kind of
quite nice.
Little twist at the end.
Not curl.
Not a full curl, but like a little twist. Like it's bending at the end.
Yeah.
At the point.
Mm-hmm. It's like a Wyatt Earp style. Or
you're going to have to start talking with like a whistle.
Why do declare?
Anthony here saying, Hans, please eat a full English breakfast for me in my place.
Yep.
Well, I think that's definitely something he can arrange. Carson Black, local detail guy
Carson,
here.
What's going on, man? How are you?
He's wondering how we're doing. We're doing good. Hopefully you are too. Stops by occasionally. And let's see. What's David saying?
David says, for what different things can the Pearl applicator be used for? So it's primarily designed as a coating applicator, but you can use it really for any type of applicator, but it was primarily designed as a coating applicator. It really works the best for that. Our square Pearl applicators or our square no-soaks are really great also at cleaning windows or putting on different dressings, whether it be tire dressings or exterior dressings or leather, things like that. The Pearl Puck can be used for any of those things. It can be used as a wax applicator too if you want. The goal was just to create a applicator that was much easier to hold for those of us that are getting a little farther up in our years or years into this industry where your hands start to hurt. So the goal was to create an applicator that you don't have to fully compress your fingers, because on the square ones, you have to put it into kind of a weird style to hold on to them. And after a while, these joints they don't like it. And as you can see, my hands are starting to, like this finger's starting to bend. And I've got different arthritic growths on my knuckles. So it makes it much harder to hold an applicator. So the goal with that Pearl Puck was to be able to have one that can be used for anything that you want it to be, but it was primarily designed to be a ceramic coating. But Anthony's right. Pearl can be used for tires, coatings, dressings, interior dressings, and glass cleans. I use it for glass coatings, exterior coatings, and I use it when I'm putting on wax or some of the aftercare products. Like I like it for the wood. Like I use it on wood with Swiss Wax wood wax.
Oh, nice.
On wood steering wheels, things like that. It's
classic cars and stuff.
Really nice for some of that stuff.
No, that's cool. It's versatile that way. Then I've got Superado here saying, guess Matt will win the fitness showdown versus Anthony by default / elimination.
Wait, Anthony's got like 2 weeks to get himself back into fighting shape.
Yeah, Brokeback Anthony really has to turn this around.
Yeah. He talked a big talk back at SEMA.
Yeah.
And here's the days coming up. So I
carry.
think he can do it. That's also what this picture is, motivation.
Yeah.
Get him back into fighting shape.
Attainable, easy.
He can do that in 2 weeks.
Anybody can do it. I could do that in 2 weeks. Mm-hmm. Just totally an attainable thing. I'm definitely not.
Couple trash bags.
I feel 100 pounds heavier.
Couple runs around the block.
Just
little
looking
decks
at
of trim. We can make it happen.
Oh, my. Well, Jeff C., is Cockpit Interior Cleaner the same as Express, or is it stronger?
So, same architecture, little different cleaning capabilities.
Now, for those who aren't aware, this is a P&S product from the off-road line, specifically that Jeff is referring to.
So, I love Cockpit as an interior cleaner. I actually like it more than Express for 2 reasons. One, when it's diluted 1-to-1, it's stronger, I feel, than Express. It has a little more ability to clean, and the reason for that is it is used for breaking down organics. So more for dirt, dust, things like that. Also, when it comes in contact with organics, it does a bit of a encapsulation and emulsification effect where it doesn't leave a muddy residue, which I really like. It does do a little more of that. It also has a unique scent, cucumber mint. But it also provides some level of sheen, a matte finish to the outside without leaving it super greasy or soapy feeling or anything like that. I cut it 1-to-1, but I find Cockpit is one of my favorites. And if I'm mixing the two, I'll mix Cockpit and Express, maybe 1/4 and 1/4 and then half with water, just because I really like the smell of Cockpit over the smell of Express. That's the other thing that I love. But Cockpit is just a nice, simple, easy to use interior cleaner. And the biggest reason we picked it was we wanted it to be able to work really well on extra dirty, dusty surfaces.
Makes sense.
So if you're doing a fleet of work trucks or vehicles like that, or you've got customers coming in with side-by-sides, they need you to clean them, or maybe they took their truck camping and it's full of dust because they left the sunroof and windows down.
Oh, yeah.
There's a big windstorm. Point is, traditional interior cleaners don't always get that. So in the past, we've asked that you guys use a rinseless wash, things like that. But what most people don't realize is Cockpit has that same capability, but also the ability to clean and get everything cleaned up and protected. So that's super cool with it as well. So
nice.
Yeah.
Then I've got Bearded Hunter.
What's up?
What's up? Hey, Bearded Hunter. Glad to see you. And let's see. We've got Anthony, of course, backing you up on Cockpit there. Then we have David, also sealants, ? Doesn't it soak up sealants and coatings too much compared to the no-soak applicator?
No, because it has no-soak technology.
There you go.
It was the first product with the no-soak technology. And we did that in conjunction with Autofiber. Then, slightly more concentrated.
Yeah. He wanted to clarify just in case people weren't sure what he meant by stronger, but it's just more concentrated.
Yeah, pH is still very neutral, very safe, very easy to use. But yeah, it's just it's a little more active.
Okay. Hi guys, only 90 degrees in Miami, says Josh McKay.
That sounds delightful, Josh.
Well, it may be 10 degrees cooler over there, Josh, but I imagine your humidity blows ours out of the water.
Yeah, we don't have hardly any.
So
yesterday after that rainstorm,
it got muggy here, which
I looked
weird.
at the humidity. Are you ready?
Well, what was it?
Remember how weird and gross it was?
Yeah, no, it felt like we were in Florida.
Yeah, no, it's only 35% humidity, Dane.
It felt like we were back in Florida.
Yeah,
like
it wasn't
Florida
even
trip that Anthony, Jimmy, and I took.
No, it was only like
this
35 or 37% humidity.
That's crazy.
Because I walked outside and I go, oh God,
yeah,
like
it felt like
wet out here.
You walked into a wet blanket.
Yeah, I walked back inside and looked and I was like, oh, what the heck? Is this reading
30,
right? Yeah.
35 or 37?
It was like right about 37, 35.
That's nuts.
Yeah. It finally cleared up like 6 o'clock. It finally like burned off that humidity and was back down to like 20.
That shows how dry we're used to it.
Yeah, we're used to like 20% on average.
Like 15.
So, yeah.
Crazy. All right, next up, we've got Carson Black dying over here. I haven't detailed in 3 weeks. Buddy, man. What's going on? And then we're getting a weather report from Anna Longfield, 75 in Seattle. I imagine
Anna,
that
that's awesome.
Sounds fantastic. Give us that, please. David, I have to take melatonin too. 4 milligrams. Doesn't stop the bickering for knowledge about detailing, though. I just fall asleep suddenly.
That's nice.
That's how it works.
I've done pretty good. I am able to, like, just shut myself down enough that I can, like, go to sleep. And, like, last night, Carly she's like, are you all right? I said, yeah. She goes, how's your back? I said, that's good. She goes, are you trying to fall asleep? I said, yep. And then I can pretty much just fall asleep. It's something I've worked on a lot, is to be able to just put myself to sleep, because I know that, man. Your brain just starts running and humming, and you've got to figure out the best way to shut it down.
That's one thing I've always, for my own sake, been fortunately pretty good at. Liz doesn't understand. Like, she goes, how do you do that? Like, I'll literally just be talking 1 second and then boom, gone. The next, just out. And there's no,
I've seen that.
Yeah, there's no in between. It's just on off. It's just a binary. Just click, you're gone. So, it's possible.
We're trying to work on the kids.
It's not narcolepsy.
No, we're trying to work on the kids with that, too, at home. Because
I haven't messed around with, like, anything in the form of sleep aids or anything, except for those rare occasions where you got to take, like, NyQuil or you're sick and that whole thing. I get that. But apart from that, no medically assisted sleep going on. But melatonin, I see a lot of people doing that these days.
Spencer B with a hey, hope everyone's having a great Friday Eve. Glad to hear Anthony got his surgery and is on the road to recovery.
Yeah. Yep. So all things are looking positive. We just hope to see him next week.
Anna says she's been working out on a friend's property on the weekends and is 65 with a strong ocean breeze out in Tillamook on the Oregon coast.
You're describing my dream. I just want that.
Dane just moved back.
Oregon coast, 65 to 75 degrees. Perfect. Then in the winter it snows, so I get some like precipitation that's fun to look at. Otherwise, don't go above 75, please.
There you go.
Spencer.
My fiance splashed iced coffee on our ceiling at home, and it left a stain. I tried a magic eraser and Green Star 5-1, but no dice. Any options to remove this coffee stain on a standard house paint? If you can't get it out, you're just going to have to paint over it.
Is this a popcorn ceiling?
Yeah, so I've got popcorn in my house, and anytime my kids splash anything or they drop a cup of chocolate milk or something, that stuff's not
It shoots up. And
it absorbs it. It goes, and then it just stays. So I've got a ton of spots where I'm like, oh, man.
It's porous.
Yeah, but if it's just standard sheetrock and you can't get it off, it might be because you're running like an eggshell or a flat paint. The joy of high gloss and semi-gloss is the ability to really wash the walls. And I know a lot of people that are like, oh, I love eggshell or matte.
They look great until you need to
wash them and scrub them, and then they start to wear because they don't have the scrubbability. So there's a lot of new paints coming out, house paints, with scrubbability in that flat. Yeah. So they're giving you this little better, stronger texture in the sense that you can scrub it clean.
Because a gloss white wall looks kind of weird.
Yeah.
All right. So a response here from David to Spencer.
I know Labo has a chart for which problem needs which product. Might check that out.
Okay. Well, that's a start. Although I imagine in the case of Labo's Cosmetica, it's mostly car related and not your ceiling in your house related.
True.
Aldi Anthony.
friendly reminder that this heat, to get the bird poop off your vehicles ASAP, this is deep etching weather. That's right. It's very acidic.
Oh, boy.
And when you've got high heat and you're sitting in a parking lot and a bird poops on the car, your clear coat has gotten very soft. It's not soft, it's gotten more open. The pores have opened more. And so you have the capability of that acid actively baking.
It can get further.
And it can boil, basically, almost onto
Boiling
the
bird
surface.
crap. Disgusting.
And when it boils, it burns it off, but it also hardens all those minerals that are left in there. So whatever that bird ate, those old minerals are all now baking and embedding themselves.
Berries with some kind of sugar
into
and
that.
acid in them.
Yeah. So again, that's why Anthony says, hey, as soon as you see it, I mean, if you walk out, if you drive to, let's say you washed the car the night before, like your Miata, let's say you washed it, you brought it to work, you walked inside, we've been inside all day, but it's parked out, let's say in the sun and not in a shady spot. You walk out and there's bird poop on it, Dane. If you leave it without just wiping it off or spraying some stuff and getting it off or hitting it that day, maybe that evening. The next day, another record heat, you've now taken it home, put it in the garage. It's cooled off a little bit. Then you've pulled it back out and you've taken it back to work and you've parked it in the hot parking lot again. You've now shrunk that and now expanded it again.
I paid good money to have
breaking.
A large amount of that car PPF'd, and I'm very glad I did. But the top portions, like the roof, stuff like that, I did not have PPF'd. And
but that's
the gloss black portions,
that's what coatings are
there's
for.
There's coatings on there, which certainly help a lot. But you know me, I'll drive through like a touchless car wash or something just to like get the big stuff. Like if I got a lot of bugs, I drove to McCall with it recently. Got loaded up with bugs because of the time of day I was driving. Actually, that's a story for another day. I drove behind hundreds of sheep.
That's all the pee. You got all the sheep pee all
trotting
over
down a dirt road from like Tamarack, the one road that leads out of Tamarack into Cascade and then back out of town. I had to roll behind them for an hour with the top down, dust flying up, them crapping all over the road, like all the shepherds running and these dogs just like drooling as they walk and keep up. And a line formed. I was like seventh in line, but there were about, 30, 40 cars.
Oh, I thought you were behind a sheep trailer going down the highway.
No, this is the crazy part. It wasn't even they weren't
real
trailered.
Sheep on the ground.
They literally just set an entire flock loose. Like I'm talking well over 100 sheep in the middle of the road,
a herd,
just cruising, just all running out there. And occasionally they wander up into somebody's yard on the hill or into the lake or whatever, and they're like, no, and they come out with like their whips and stuff. And
love
like,
it,
it was intense. It was very like.
I can imagine you in the Miata doing that.
I was in the Miata.
Keep herding them, like, oh, don't worry, guys, I got this.
Yeah, it's my
you're
little
whistling and you're
my little herding dog car, just nipping at the heels.
You got a speaker and a button, and you're making a whip crack sound.
Yeah.
And you got it on. You're like, I got this one, and you're trying to wrangle them sheep.
No, the visual was something else.
We could wrap the Miata to look like a sheepdog, like a shepherd.
That could be
like
interesting.
A border collie or something.
Anyway, back to the comments. It was just a thought.
David Levi, did you know great horned owls are able to swim? I did not. That's
just one
rad.
more thing they can do that Levi can't.
That's amazing. Yeah, I can't do that.
You can't fly and you can't swim, and they can do both.
Jerks. They're also super silent.
Well.
And it's saying sup to Umberto.
Just saying hey.
And then David Derriere, my future detailing business will be called Double Detailing. D Detailing. There you go. Like it. Enjoy it. And then Hans, check out Summit subscription business name. No kidding.
All right. Rick,
my go-to interior tile, basically whatever I grab from TRC, but I'm really starting to dig the FTW, especially for windows. That's what it was designed for. That's what FTW actually stood for, was for the window. And then we translated it later into for the win because we started using it with a bunch of last step products.
There's constant debate about, what the best towel is that the rag company carries. I would strongly argue there's, an argument to be made. FTW is number one. Eagle Edgeless, most famous probably, the towels we carry. Great towel. People love it. But in terms of ones you could use for so many different things every day, the FTW just... it's on another level.
Yeah, I agree.
Love the FTW. And that said, it's definitely not the cheapest of the bunch by any means. It costs more to produce, but it's so worth it. It's just unique.
Yep.
And then we've got Chris M, brake buster for wheels and tires for a maintenance wash.
Nice. There you go.
Agree with that. Then we got Joey B popping in.
Joey Belinsky, hello, my friends. Ready to drink some stuff.
Yeah. Just don't drink chemicals.
Specifically, Solution Finish. Don't.
Yeah, he was feeling inspired by... I mean, we drink chemicals every day, don't we? Just not detailing chemicals.
Brian, with expensive pearlescent paint, would PPF look any worse than just a coating? I know coatings make it look better. So, that's hard to say. So this goes back to the fact that most new car manufacturers paint their clear coats with a level or degree of orange peel. PPF goes on over the top of it, and people think, oh, it's not as clear. It's not as smooth looking. Now it has more orange peel. Honestly, it really varies and depends on the person installing. Not the person installing, but the owner, the eye of the beholder.
Yeah. Only you know what you can see.
I could put PPF on my cars, and I'd probably be just fine with it.
Yeah.
Like, I'd have no problem with the level of clarity or anything like that. If I did it and showed it to my wife and say, what do you think? She'd just say, that looks great. Yeah. Awesome. Love it. Because she's just happy that, like, she would see gloss. She wouldn't see reflections. She wouldn't see deep in it. She'd see gloss. So if it's a high gloss finish, she'd be like, wow, looks great. Did a good job. Right? Yeah. So she's not going to go, oh, there's a lot of orange peel on the side. She doesn't see that because that's not what she sees.
No.
Right? I could see it, but I'm okay with it.
Yeah.
So it really depends on what you're installing. Now, I will say there are levels of different PPF. There are a lot of companies that strive for sheer clarity. There are other people that if, let's say you've got a custom car that you've spent $30,000 to $50,000 or more on paint.
Yeah.
And it is flat as absolutely can be. And I color sanded it for you. And I've gotten that thing down to where it is a perfect 1-to-1 mirror in reflection. And then you come in and Dane comes in and throws a sheet of PPF over the top of it. Yeah. And there's a breakup now where the front fenders look orange peeled and then the rest of the car is perfectly crisp and clear and perfect. Then yes, you will have that issue.
I was going to say, I would have more of an issue with that.
You will never in a million years run across that because no one is ever fully PPFing that much custom paintwork in the world.
The person who has that level of like clarity and perfection in a paint job is maybe coating it, but almost definitely not PPFing it because the kind of car that receives that kind 100%. Of paint job is the kind that's going to be a trailer queen. Let's be honest. It's going to go to car shows.
And to get to that level, it's got 10 layers of clear on it.
Yeah, and it's going to be treated like it. Yeah. Most likely. I mean, if you do all that...
You can do whatever you want to it. It's basically bulletproof with 10 layers of clear.
Now...
PPF isn't going to help it.
Speaking from my own experience, I own 2 pearl white cars with two-tone gloss black accents and stuff. Speaking as someone who does have PPF on a pearl vehicle, on my Miata, believe it or not, in photos it mostly just looks white, but to the eye, when you see it in person, it is pearl. It's pretty. And the PPF does not take away from that, in my opinion. Like, just looking at it, I don't notice enough of a difference for it to bother me.
Perfect.
And like at a glance, I do not see it. It's only when I'm like right up on top of it where I go, oh, okay, it's more obvious that the PPF's here. But overall, I don't find it distracting. And I think if you were to take a photo, most people look at it have a really hard time telling.
Yeah, Brian, I don't think you'd notice.
Yeah, you'd be all right. Okay, Chris M. Joey isn't at 1 p.m. in reference to the I'm going to drink things. That's not what he meant. It just sure is.
It's funny.
Anna. Bam.
Clean maker for making my tools and toolbox look great.
All right. Nice. Good call.
David? Joey, 10:22 p.m. in Belgium. Great time for a drink. Drink one for my local time. There you go. And then Dan, Over the Top is one of the best smelling detail products. It is. It truly is. It is.
There's no reason
it's
for it to be.
It's so surprising how good it smells.
It's not a product you would
However, we will say, Chris West, to his favor, brought us during the first TRCMA, he brought us some bottles that Anthony still has like one bottle of in his desk somewhere hidden I think he put it in one of his shoes or something because he's hiding it from all of us.
It's hidden away.
Yeah. But it is hand sanitizer that was made at a local bourbon distillery.
Mm-hmm.
And they
smells like the oak barrels.
They poured, after they made hand sanitizer, they needed a place to store them. So they started storing them in the old bourbon barrels. And then they'd fill up the bottles so they'd sit for a week or two in the barrel. And they'd get all the smoke and the ash and the scent and all that stuff. And then they'd pour it and they'd put it into a little bottle and then they would sell that.
Yeah.
And so Chris West had some of that and he brought a couple bottles. He goes, you guys got to smell this stuff. It was probably the most delicious, nicest smell. And I'm not a drinker at all.
It was more like a cologne than...
It smelled like a cologne than anything else. And it was the neatest, coolest scent. And it's still holding up 4 years later. Insane.
It's very impressive because it came from that weird time period where
everybody
a lot of places weren't quite sure. Well, I guess we have the capability. We're a distillery. We could make hand sanitizer. It's just a variant of alcohol and stuff. Okay, maybe we try that. And then this comes out and it's like, holy cow, where'd you get that, Chris? We need more.
Yeah.
It was amazing. And there are like different kinds of hand sanitizer where you get the kind that's more like a gel. This was more the watery kind. So it really did feel like when you put it out, it felt like you were just getting like a little spritz of cologne.
Yeah. Very
really
nice.
Amazing.
You actually wiped it all over your body at one point.
I did. It was a worthwhile test. And let me tell you,
nobody
complained.
We literally watched Dane rub his hands, smell it, and go, oh, this is great.
I just start putting it on like sunscreen.
Put a little bit in his hand, and then he's like, he took his hat off, and he's like wiping it on his face.
Anybody who says that's gross, it's alcohol, it'll just burn off.
All of us were laughing just because he was like so excited to put it on, but it was because it smelled so good.
Yeah, dude.
So,
you booze, you lose, says Chris M. All right.
Right, there you go. Brian Levi, have you bought any new Detail Factory colors? If not, which are you using? Any of the new Detail Factory? No, I have not yet. So I have the tire brushes that I use actually for carpets.
Yeah.
And interiors. I have the new interior scrub brush that I really use it for some light scrubbing. It's not a very stiff bristle brush.
Okay.
That's why I like the tire brushes better for the carpets and upholstery.
Mm-hmm.
I also use those on the door panels and things. I still like a good stiff bristle or more stiff bristle. I don't like too soft. That's not me. And then I've got curveball and screwball that I use.
Mm-hmm.
And then some small boar's hair. So I'm a boar's hair guy.
Yeah, that makes sense. All right, then I've got Spencer Mation here popping in. Hello from Farming Spencer.
What's up, Farming Spencer?
We got Pilot Spencer, and then we got Farming Spencer. Love it. Go. And next up, Joey.
What's the inside scoop? I heard Bubbler was being set out to pasture soon. Is there something new? Spill the tea. So, Joey, that's old news. And that's something that Jack had been talking about from 2 TRCMAs ago.
Oh, yeah.
Was that he was thinking of stopping Bubbler, but it's still selling.
Yeah, it's true.
So, as far as I know, he hasn't anything. But we did just have Jack as a guest on our new podcast.
Yes.
And you'll have to just wait for that episode to drop.
We're a little ways out from that one because in between those, we got Adam Patali also coming out. Yeah. I've got that one tentatively set to come out on the 5th next month. So you can look forward to that then. But then Jack will come out probably a couple weeks after that. Yeah. So we're working on trying to expand. Yeah, on trying to make more of a regular thing out of it. But we're getting guests in rolling out. But I think Adam Patali and Jack back to back, that's a good combo.
Yeah, that was a good combo.
So we've had Dylan and we've had Alan Medcraft on the phone on the podcast. But if you guys haven't checked those out, check out the format. I'm really proud of what, got put together, and Levi and I have been able to carry these shows and get some really great interviews out of people, and I don't want you guys to miss that. It's the kind of high-quality content that I always kind of dream for this channel, so I want you guys to really check it out and let us know what you think in the comments.
Yeah.
All right, next up. Lucas needs a pay raise. All comments, all caps. Yeah. Hans screaming.
And Jeff C. has All Day Anthony Curtin finally been raised?
Was there a Curtin?
No, so he has All Day Anthony helping him.
Oh, okay.
So he probably let him log into his account because he needs help around the house.
I see.
So I know he was saying something about him helping him. something about mowing the lawn.
Okay.
He needed some assistance in.
Sure.
So
okay. Yeah.
And he just said he knew that All Day would be able to bring the level of quality.
Yeah.
And
he's kind of
and skill set to the lawn care routine that Anthony has already established.
A Honda mower is involved.
Yeah.
No doubt.
Yeah.
Okay.
So, and an Ego trimmer. So,
okay.
With the carbon shaft.
It's all about that carbon shaft.
Yep.
Okay, Brett G.
Brett G says, Anthony Fisher is in the chat. I just see All Day Anthony. Anyway, what detailing products, if any, do you use to clean up your baseball caps? Thanks, gents. I don't clean mine. I just throw it away and get a new one.
Yeah, if my cap starts looking a little rough, I mean, you can't really throw it in the wash. Your cardboard bill is toast.
No, so what I do, in case you guys are wondering,
I'll wipe it with like a little, like you said, like a rinseless or something. I can kind of get some stuff off. But it's not
we don't
lot.
ever really wash them
Not
that much.
really.
So what we do is I put mine in the shower when I'm taking a shower or something.
Okay.
Put it in the bathroom with me so it gets a little bit of steam. Kind of cleans it up a little bit.
It's a good idea.
But then one of my favorite things to do is use the Ultra Air Blaster. And what I'll do is I'll take it and I'll blast the bill and get that clean. Maybe I'll spray a little Express from like here, just up.
That makes sense.
Soak it all in Express or.
And they're mostly all white hats. Most of my hats have never gotten dirty enough to where I felt like, oh, throw it away. I'll usually preserve them because they're usually tied to some kind of memory or some sentimental reason why you got that hat in the first place. So there's usually some reason to keep it. But sometimes you're just given like a promo hat. That's nice to have, but when it's toast, it's toast. But yeah, white hats are the only ones I haven't had the best luck with. Every other hat's been fine. But those white ones, as soon as you get a smear, like they fall in the dirt or something like that, it's never quite the same after. Spencer popping up here.
Here's a good question. Who's better, a mid-tier detailer using amazing products, best of the best, or top-tier detailer with average detail products? Ooh, that's a good question. So,
skill versus product.
At the end of the day, I'm going to say it's skill, a top-tier detailer with average detail products. So, we just did our TikTok live, and what most people don't realize is, so we have our, we don't. MVP has their MVP detail supply line.
Yeah.
Over there, and it's a value-priced group of products that they carry in the store, and you can buy on mvpsupply.com. Detailsupply.com. Those products are what I used for the first 20 years of my detailing career. And what was unique was utilizing those products, getting the results that I wanted, and then putting it on Instagram or showing other detailers what I just accomplished, and realizing that the detailers that I was following or getting excited about were utilizing this, not the same, but similar style products to what I was using. And at that time I realized, oh, I'm a good detailer. Like I'm not using, we'll just take, for instance, Swiss Vax.
Yeah.
Arguably one of the most expensive brands in the world.
Yeah.
Right? I wasn't using Swiss Vax to detail the entire car. I have almost the entire product range of Swiss Vax at the MOS HQ.
Yeah.
They're great.
No, they are.
But are they capable? Can I get the same clean utilizing the MVP line as I get with the Swiss Vax line?
Sure.
Yes.
It's going to be more work, but sure.
Not even more work. It's just going to be, I'm going to be able to do it because I know how to get, it's the technique.
Yeah.
It's the proper use of the products. I could give somebody top of the line products. They're still going to mess it up.
Yeah, no, they're
still
hands.
Going to use too much of one product and cause streaking. How many times have we fielded phone calls from people that are like, Dreammaker streaks. Yeah. It messes everything up.
Every time.
Okay. That is one of the simplest products to install, and you don't have to use a lot of it.
And yet some treat it like it's rocket science.
Yeah, some people still can't get it right. Or glass cleaner. They just can't clean glass to save their life. It comes down to technique, proper technique, understanding about cross-contamination, understanding what overspray is when you're spraying a product onto a surface, understanding the chemical nature of each product. You could spray tire dressing, Dane. I could give you the air applicator gun and go, here's OptiBond 1-to-1. Here you go. Spray it on your tires. You could spray it on your tires, but you got a little far back because your technique's not 100%, and you got some on the paint, but then you didn't wipe it off because you weren't paying attention and you didn't see it.
I was going to throw in, as part of technique is also just simply experience, knowledge, that kind of thing.
That too.
So playing into your environmental limitations sometimes, you're in a particular climate or something like that, your experience, your skill will determine when it's a good idea to use a certain product in a certain space, say you're outdoors or indoors, those kinds of variables, stuff like that. Well, that's where the skill comes in. Regardless of the product, some products are just going to be friendlier, even if you're in direct sunlight or something like that, versus other products. But what I was getting at first was like the easy use thing. This goes back, because this is where I think a lot of people wondering this kind of question. Some people may feel like, oh, you sell products, it's a gotcha question. No, like if it were down to it, if somebody used like worse microfiber or something along those lines,
you could put me in a Walmart and give me microfiber, I would still figure out a way to make it work.
Will get you there. The trade-off to using, at least this is the way it should work, is the trade-off to using a higher quality product is that it should either save you some level of time or effort, or produce a result that exceeds what you could have done with a lesser product. So if it's not doing at least one of those things, then maybe you're overpaying for something that you don't need to have. You can make do with something else if that's your concern. Yeah. Other times, people just like what they like, and they don't necessarily feel like they have to be concerned about the bottom dollar, because maybe they're just doing this for themselves. Maybe they're just an enthusiast, and what's going on in their driveway is their business, and they're not looking to get a return on investment necessarily. As long as it makes them happy, that's their return.
Yeah, and there's nothing wrong with someone being a mid-tier, utilizing amazing products.
Sure.
Kudos. Good you recognize you're using great products. Have fun with it.
Yeah.
I will still say there is a skill set that is the number one thing to watch out for.
Yeah.
And it doesn't matter what that skill set is. It's just like with if you've been doing something for a number of years, you can make it work.
Yeah.
You can figure out exactly how to get it done the best way.
A lot of it is just avoiding the traps of mistakes you'd make when you were new, like overusing product, for example, or say you're spraying onto the surface rather than an applicator when you're trying to do certain things. Like it can really backfire on people when they're like, it's just not working, and then you realize they have their whole process kind of backwards.
Well, like the new video.
Yeah.
Go watch it. Go on the Rag Company. Watch me and Lucas react. There's a number of things in there where people are asking, did I pay too much?
Yeah. Yeah.
And there's one where I go, no, you didn't pay enough.
Yeah, no.
Go pay
back the detailer more.
Go give them some money, or go bring them bring them a couple pizzas from Domino's, or go get something, because they busted their ass and you got a killer deal on what you did for what you had. Mm-hmm. And then there are other times where it was explaining to, like, the paint. There's paint overspray on one, and it's like, I'm a top tier detailer. I think I could get that thing clean, but at the end of the day, that's a body shop issue. That's not a detailer issue. That's an insurance claim. That's a body shop. That is, at the end of the day, if the body shop calls me and goes, hey, we got everything we could do, we are going to need you to do this last 10% of the job, perfect.
Sure.
Then I'll do it. But they took up 90% of it. They've got the tools. They've got the skills. They've got the ability to repair something. And so sometimes also being a top tier detailer, or being at that level, knowing I'm not going to get you the best.
Yeah.
What you seek is unattainable, or there's a better way to go about it. Mm-hmm. So.
No, and that's a great point. And Ricky Cologne, you'll be the last comment I read here before we go to our brief little break.
Hello, everyone.
Long time no see.
What's up, dude?
It's good to see you, Ricky. Glad to have you here.
Puerto Rico.
Yeah, and on that long time no see note, we will see you guys in just a few minutes. Not too long, not too short.
Quick break.
Check out these messages. Go take a little bathroom break. Get some snacks, whatever you want to do, and then we'll meet you right back here. So don't go too far. Just give us a minute. Hello, and welcome back to the second half of Q&A Thursday, right here at the Rag Company Podcast YouTube channel. And, first things first, as we get here in the second half, I want to remind people who are watching, if they're not aware, we have a kind of an experimental stream we're going to be doing on Monday next week, and we want you to join us. It's going to be in the morning, and really it should appeal to those of you who miss hearing about our weekends, but also kind of the What's in Store segments we used to do where we kind of focus on a product in the storefront. We're going to be putting a little bit of everything together there, just in an old school way, dumpster hang style, with just a phone camera live streaming with a good little mic set up for us, and we're just going to hang out in the MVP Detail Supply Store, which is the official outlet store of the Rag Company.
Here on the Rag Company campus.
It's right over there. It's not far. So, you guys, if you want to see that, if you want to check it out, it is a upcoming live stream here on the podcast channel. All you got to do is just head over to that upcoming live stream, click Notify Me if you're logged into your YouTube account, and it'll give you a heads up when we go live that day. So, I don't want you guys to miss it. I want you to be there, and if you're around for it, we'd really appreciate it if you left some comments and said, hey. And that's it.
I like it.
All right. Any other housekeeping before I get back
just
to
sign
these
up for the
comments?
newsletter if you haven't already, guys. And then again, of course, the Rag Company events page, which is on the ragcompany.com. It's one of the headers. It literally says events, and we've got stuff coming up. Obviously, we need to respell Mormon. She spelled Mormon wrong. But we've got August 10th here at MVP Details by Matt and the Obsessed Garage team. We're doing a meet and greet. August 10th. So if you're local to the Boise area or Idaho and you want to swing by Saturday morning, 10 a.m. to 1 p.m., Matt's going to be in there. Come in, get a picture taken, say hi, what up, all that stuff. And then we did just finish last week. We had a PPF training class from our friends at Avery Dennison, and we have a vinyl wrap training class coming up in October. So please, if you guys want to sign up for that stuff, do. We also are going to be adding this week here the new Rupes class that is going to be happening the 10th, 11th, I believe, of October. So check the events page. That's where it's going to be at. That's where you're going to get notified. Where you're going to be able to see that stuff. You're also going to be able to book and pay for the events on that page. So
okay, excellent.
It'll take you right to the links.
You also reminded me, because we had some great conversations earlier this week with Adam Patali and Jack Kavanaugh of Stjarnaglas. For those who don't know, we've been doing a new thing with the main show, just calling it the Rag Company Podcast. Yeah, you
can find that on Spotify, iTunes,
Apple Podcasts, wherever you get your podcast from. But I want you guys to make sure you check that out. If you've seen those episodes and you weren't quite sure what they were, you're like, oh, that's not the Q&A, or that's not the main show. Check them out.
Seriously. It is the main show.
It is the main show. It's the new main show. So it's the thing to check out going forward. But we have one with Dylan Von Kleist and one with Alan Medcraft of AM Details. Check those out. See how you like the format. I'm very, proud of what we were able to accomplish with that. But I want you guys to give us feedback. So in the comments on those on YouTube or wherever you get your podcast from, leave a review. Say something about them. I'd really appreciate knowing what you guys have to say about them. So, yes, please get those, and we'll have more for you coming out shortly in the form of Adam Patali of Adam's Polishes and Jack from Stjarnaglas over the next month.
Perfect.
That's it. All right. So, moving along here, getting back to it, I have, after Ricky Colon, I have Joey Belinsky. Here it is.
Brett Gates, R2R Soak. I just soaked all my hats, and my lord, the nasty was pulled out. Rinsed with clean water and draped in microfibers to dry. That's not a bad idea, Joey.
That's a good idea.
I might do that.
Yeah.
Mix up a little R2R.
I always worry about getting this part soggy and it not going back the way it should.
Yeah. Sometimes that happens.
Yeah. Well, what can you do about a soggy bill?
That's right. Anthony says, no curtain raised, just a guy that enjoys detail and stuff, just like that other Anthony. Oh. Yeah, again, he's just been helping Anthony Fisher because of his back. So it was nice of him to be able to volunteer some of his time to help Anthony.
Just like there's two Spencers who aren't the same. There are two Anthonys.
Yeah, correct.
Definitely not related. Let's see. Hans wants Levi to get an Ivan-style mustache.
No.
I think Levi's decided he'd rather do it his way. Brett here, just saying thanks, Joey. And then Joey following up to Brett. No problem. Spray a little 50-50 water and vinegar on the heavier sweat stains if needed.
That's smart. Yeah.
There we go. Now, here's a new face to me, unless you've seen him around. Carl Case.
Carl Case. I have a bottle of G-Technic Easy Coat I got in a mystery box 2 to 3 years ago. Would it still be good? It's been stored inside. Yeah, it should be just fine. Hook it up to the garden hose, put it on your vehicle, dude. It's good stuff.
Honestly, it's a fun product.
Most people don't realize how
that's what it's supposed
good
to.
It is. I used it on my trailer last year in September October when I put it away. It sat all winter on the side of my house, no cover, nothing. Just sat on the side of the house, covered in Easy Coat because I washed the trailer and then I sprayed Easy Coat, applied Easy Coat, rinsed it off, then dried it.
We had an unusual amount of precipitation this last year.
A lot of water.
It went through a lot.
It got a lot, and then I pulled it out to take it camping, and the first thing we did was wash it from it being set on the side of the house. We pulled it forward, pressure washed it. Couldn't believe all the beading still on the surface. Hit it with just some active foam, rinsed it off, dried it off. Trailer was clean. It's amazing product. So definitely do yourself a favor and use it, Carl.
Nice. Then Anna Longville wants to know which Spencer is Tractor Spencer. That would be Spencer Mation, who,
Spencer Mation,
by the way, spoiler alert, is somebody I also lined up for an upcoming interview for the Main Show podcast because I find what he does interesting. And I thought you and I could get into a pretty fun talk with him. We'll see where that goes. But I know he's looking forward to that, too. I like both Spencers.
They're great.
Yeah, both Spencers are great. But we met one Spencer at SEMA, and then the other one has actually been here to the building, Mr. Pilot Spencer. So that's pretty cool. But we've got Joey saying cockpit is bussin'.
Yep.
Got a fan there. And then David follows up.
Would you choose cockpit above dynamic dressing? Two different products. Cockpit is a cleaner.
Yeah.
Dynamic is a dressing.
Yeah, you use one after the other.
Yeah.
Too close to retirement simply has a period. There is no comment.
Because they're too close to retirement. All right.
So I guess the
and then
name is the answer.
Joey, cockpit's a cleaner. Dynamic dressing is a dressing. You can use them together.
Then Josh saying, surprisingly, humidity is only 64%.
Oh, not bad. Yeah.
So that's over in, where was he, Florida?
I think so.
Yeah. So
it's a nice light day, I guess.
Huh.
And then there are some who call me Tim. Have any of the TRC staff who bought the Rupes HLR 15 or 21 had any issues? I had to send mine in for warranty repair. Have heard of some of the others having problems too. I'm sure Rupes will figure it out though. Yeah, so I think Josh Brodell's the only one that's actually bought one.
Okay.
I don't know if he's using it enough to justify that, but to justify a warranty reclaimer issue.
Right.
So I have no idea. I will say we have had a couple that people have returned because of those issues.
Okay.
And we have pushed it on to Rupes. There's always usually a problem when there's just bugs that need to be worked out when a new product or
it's
a new
new form factor. It's not the type of tool they're used to making, but they put a lot of their understanding of their hybrid system into doing this stuff. So I'm curious, what is the issue that's coming back?
They just shut off. They just stopped working.
So it could be like a processor issue, something electronic,
controller or something.
Most likely.
Yeah. So they've been really good. There's a warranty on those products, and they've got a great replacement and repair system. So they've been taking care of everybody.
Good.
On whatever they want to. But it's just Rupes. They're doing their best to try and keep not only keep the lines open to flow new tools and keep those tools stocked, but also to repair and fix those issues.
Okay.
So,
well, good.
Yep.
So hopefully that helps answer. Then I got Dan Pfeiffer heading out to the garage shortly to fire up the pressure washer and get to detail.
Nice, Dan. Good to hear that, buddy.
Glad to hear it. Joey Belinsky. I have my vices at night that help me sleep. I think 3 minutes is my right. Okay. Christmas tree. And Hans.
If my mind keeps racing, I just do Tai Chi breathing techniques. There you go.
Man,
that's good.
The man with the dragon tattoo doing Tai Chi as well.
I don't doubt that.
He's all over it. Well, let's see. David, in response to Joey, saying, thanks, can you use express and dynamic dressing together?
I wouldn't.
So
I wouldn't.
He's saying you bet, but I mean,
you can, but I wouldn't mix them. You can use them one after the other, but don't mix them together.
Well, that's what I think he means. Okay. I don't think he means actually like mixing them together in the same container and then spraying it.
Well, that's good.
Yeah, no. Well, when you combine them, he just means like steps back to back.
I hope so.
If so, is there anything he should look out for?
No.
Just fine. All right, moving on. Umberto here saying, I can't take melatonin pills since they mess up my insulin. I just do the sleep exercise my dad taught us since he was a Vietnam vet.
Nice.
Okay.
Good job.
And then I've got J Firefighter 1. I'm guessing he's a firefighter. Popcorn ceilings are the worst.
The absolute worst.
Yes. Popcorn ceilings kind of suck.
It's one of those where my wife always says, my beautiful, lovely wife says, we should get on those. We should scrape those off. And I think of the amount of mess and how long it's going to take. And I go,
just a nightmare. Every time when I worked at Home Depot, I would see the little rattle can, spray cans they had for popcorn ceiling. I'd look at it and just be like, why do you exist?
Yeah. It was literally, so the reason that they do exist is because of the fact that when they first went from the gypsum plaster to sheetrock board, the fact that you had to seam it, tape it, and all that stuff.
That's a lot of work.
They didn't want to texture the ceilings the way they were texturing the walls. And so they thought, ooh, this will be the easiest, fastest way is to splatter it, and then we don't have to touch it. And that was why. So it was a much faster, quicker way to get a finished look rather than just spraying from a texture gun that you'd spray on the walls to spray on the ceiling.
Didn't change the fact that it sucks.
No. But now, new houses don't have that because they've been able to create higher air pressures, better materials that can cling and stick and all that. But back in the old days, they didn't really have
It's not unlike orange peel and car paint where it's used to kind of disguise some of the imperfections
That's what it is.
You naturally run into when using something like sheetrock.
Yeah.
Okay.
But it also was just a cool effect. People were like, whoa. It's like there was a house we saw.
Yeah, in the 70s, people thought it was cool.
Yeah, there was a person that posted on like Instagram or something, one of the story posts or whatever, and it was a house that was for sale in Texas.
Yeah.
And it was, get this dream house, blah, 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 cool design. No, what it was an unfinished home. And they pretended to finish it to then sell it for that price. The whole inside of the house was done up in OSB.
I've seen that one.
It's unfinished walls, no insulation.
Insane.
Yeah, open conduit.
The only thing that really confused me was the fact
the house.
You saw organized strand board OSB exposed on all the surfaces for all the walls, everything,
ceiling, the floor,
and you're trying to figure out. You're like, okay, but why am I not seeing any of the wiring? Where's the wiring? Is there like a layer in between that they're like double OSBing or something?
No, probably yes and no in some instances.
Because I had lights, but I didn't see the wiring when I was trying to look through
but the
it.
way they were taking the pictures
was nightmare fuel though. Looking at that, I was like, wow, you want to spend all that money just for your house to look like
open exposed walls, and it's Texas or whatever. So the house has no insulation whatsoever.
Yeah.
And that's how I see it, is like someone thought of a way of going like, oh, we're going to quick finish. This look great. Yikes. And then it caught on. And then people did it.
Insane. But also, it's like when you see those those DIY, kind of jokey DIY things where it's like how-to or how-to basic or something, where essentially it's, I'm going to recreate this thing I saw on Etsy. And somebody tries to do like a cool little like palette, repurposed into a nightstand or something. And then the person does it and you see it and even they look and go, oh no. I failed horribly. It's that kind of feeling when you see the inside of this house.
100%.
Yikes. If you don't know what we're talking about, just type in OSB house listing.
That's crazy.
It's crazy.
We missed David's.
Oh, sorry. Yeah, David. Get back there. There we go.
What's the best product to clean bird poop? Bug remover or something else? I saw a stud about heat guns and hair dryers too recently. It gets me confused. Bird poop, rinseless wash. Spray rinseless wash on it. Wipe it up. Call it good. If it's stuck, then you can spray a little APC on it. You can spray a little bit of bug remover if you want. You can spray it, but just pull your gun out, your jet washer, pressure washer, whatever.
Yeah.
Spray it off or rinse it off. Get it off.
Historically,
but if you don't have access, a rinseless wash in a pressure sprayer, just pump up,
Yeah.
Wipe it off. We've got a video that I did.
It's like varying degrees. So, like, in the case of the video I was going to reference on his, he was
that
doing
was
it
a
on
real
his own
deal,
car.
actual bird dropping that hit the roof of my car like someone threw a rock at it.
More like a dinosaur hit the car.
It was huge.
It was bad. But you used a waterless wash in that case.
I used waterless and some creatures.
And then, you followed up with some creatures.
Yeah.
And those creatures were not to touch a painted surface ever again after
No,
that.
but I remember that day. That bird hit the roof, and I swear I thought someone had thrown a rock at my car.
No, it looked like somebody
So loud.
accidentally dropped a whole, like, Yoplait container on the side of
It
your
was
car.
so-
It's disgusting.
It was so loud. I cannot explain it. But anyway,
Bad news.
go watch that video.
Yeah, totally
Bird
worth
poop.
it.
Yeah.
All right, Grant F.
Some overcast in Surprise, Arizona day. Still a whopping 110. Ouch.
The only thing not surprising about that is the 110 degrees in
We hit
Arizona.
like 86 and we had overcast yesterday. It was nice for this
for
much
like
time.
the first half of the day, kind of. It was like, oh wow, oh my gosh, is that
I
rain?
hope it stays like
And
this.
then the clouds disappeared, and it went from being like
It spit.
low 80s to suddenly we hit 104 or something
Yeah.
like that. It was just
yeah,
a
it
big
spit,
old jump.
and then it got hot.
Yeah.
And then Anthony, waterless wash for bird poop does the trick. Do it as soon as you see it. Don't wait. And that's something you can do. Keep a couple towels in your car. Keep a bottle of waterless in there because it's got everything you need inside of it. Spray it.
Yeah.
Get it. Be done. Throw it in the trunk.
Ooh, Hans with a challenge to my FTW supremacy here, saying the best towel TRC has is the Eagle blanket.
Yeah.
Basically just
Technically
going
the
for
largest,
Eagle,
biggest.
but big.
Dylan Von Kleist called to ask us which towel we decided we would pick for his new Hummer.
Oh, right.
And I said, 1500s, dude. And he's like,
Yeah.
oh my gosh, I didn't even think about those.
Yeah.
I said, yeah, get yourself two and you're fine.
Yeah, he's got that Hummer EV SUV, so like the big boy. It's orange too,
Yeah.
right? You can't miss it.
Yeah.
Looks fun though. Let's see. We've got Joey.
What about dog poop on the paint, Anthony?
Well, it's impressive. If
How
a
often
dog
that gets
manages
on
to
there.
do that,
Yeah.
it's
No, my dad did that. My dad was able to do that.
Are you holding the dog over the car,
No,
or is the
so
dog
what he
just
did-
really
what he did
powerful?
was we lived in back in the day when I was a little kid, we lived in a trailer park
Okay.
called Green Acres over off of Emerald and Ustick.
I think I passed by there.
Yeah.
Unless it's not there anymore.
No, it's still there.
Okay.
So anyway, we're right there on 5 Mile and Ustick, or not Ustick, 5 Mile and Executive, Emerald. That's where our place was.
Okay.
So we are living there. I'm like 7 or 8 years old. Before we bought our house over here off of Collister, and the neighbor dog was named Muppers.
Muppers. Okay. It's been a while since I remembered you telling a story about this dog. I'm still blown away every time I hear the name because all I can think is what series of events led to an animal being called Muppers?
Yeah, it's like an Australian sheepdog.
Oh, that poor thing.
And he would run out, black and white. He'd run up. They'd let him out of the house every morning. He lived right like 2 doors down or next door or something. He'd run over to our front yard and he'd poop in it.
Thanks,
Right
Muppers.
as my dad is starting his car to go to work every morning.
Like he'd wait until he was in the car and started.
It was like my
before
dad would go out and start the car and the neighbor would let the dog out. And then the dog would run over and poop in the yard while my dad's warming up the car. And he's like, oh my gosh.
It's literally like a Pavlovian response.
So one morning, my dad was fed up with it because he kept going, hey, come clean up after your dog. And they're like, yeah, whatever, man. Because it's a trailer park, right?
Sure.
So my dad, finally one day, he snaps.
Oh, no.
Goes and grabs his shovel.
Oh, no.
Scoops up all the dog poop, walks over to the neighbor's house while the guy's out there smoking a cigarette, throws the dog poop on the guy's windshield.
Oh, no.
The guy goes, what are you doing? What are you doing throwing that on the dog poop on my window? My dad goes, what? It's only Muppers. Because that's what the guy said to my dad. When my dad's like, hey, clean up after your dog. He's like, what? It's only Muppers. That was the dog's name. But that's what my dad did. He literally took it, catapulted it with a shovel on the car. The guy never let his dog out to poop in our yard again.
So the tactic worked.
It worked. But yeah, my dad snapped one day.
It's gross, but it worked.
Yeah, snapped one day, just threw dog poop on the guy's car. What? It's Muppers. That's the line.
I just can't get over what a dumb name that is.
I know, it's a
like
great-
it's just like
so
you
funny.
mix pup, pupper, and Muppet, and you get
Yeah.
Muppers.
Yeah, no idea.
I don't know how he arrived at that, but like I've never
But
heard
it's
anything
stuck
else in my life
it's
called
stuck in
that.
my head my whole
How
life.
could you forget it? It's
Yeah.
hilarious.
Yeah, it's
Okay.
only Muppers.
Only Muppers. It's only Muppers.
It's only Muppers. And then Umberto, he has lots of critters on his cars. Yeah.
Oh, boy.
And then David, also, if I stood in the sun what if it stood in the sun the whole time? Same thing. Get it in a cool spot, rinse it off, or spray it on there, wipe it off. You'll see. You just take a look at the video.
Yeah, at a certain point,
check out our video.
When the surface gets too hot.
When it's baked on, you got to pressure wash it off.
Yeah. I mean, job number one is, if you can, getting to a spot where at least you're not in direct sunlight at the panel super hot, and give it a little time to get down to a temp that's reasonable. Otherwise, sometimes you spray a chemical onto a surface that's too hot, it's not effective. It just kind of like boils off. So it can be kind of frustrating if you're stuck at too hot.
Yeah, rinseless or waterless, answering your question for you again, David.
Yeah. It's a whole lot of back and forth on this.
Yep, same thing again. Rinseless, just a matter of diluting. Waterless is ready to use.
Yep.
I'll keep the 365 and a sprayer of rinseless in my car then. Is rinseless in the IK TR1 heat proof? Yeah, it's not going to hurt anything.
Yeah, I mean, of all the products it's not gonna, to worry about
what's going to happen is if you have any color in that, so let's say it's blue O&R, you might lose some of the blue.
It might turn a little clear, look more like water.
Still going to work. Still going to be fine.
Also, you can just kind of shake it up sometimes.
Yeah, it's fine. Same with the Absolute or RRW. It's going to be very clearish.
And then Anthony commenting on the distillery hand sanitizer.
He literally rubbed his neck down with it.
Dude, it was so nice. I wanted to smell it all day. Then let's see.
Everybody's saying the same thing.
More of that.
Waterless after 2 weeks.
Wow, it is just keeps going.
Perfect. There you go. The answers to your questions, brother. Super Auto, the watery hand sanitizer made by most companies during COVID smelled like week-old tequila remnants from the bar mat at the dive bar. Yeah, this didn't have a tequila scent. This had a nice bourbon, whiskey barrel,
classy
char scent. It was, it smelled like leather and English goods.
It smelled very masculine.
Shape, yeah, it was amazing.
Ron, hello.
Hey, Ron, how you doing, man?
Hey, buddy.
Watching the podcast from the coast of Maine.
Awesome. Well, we're glad to have you here, regardless of where you are.
Hope you're enjoying yourself.
But let's see, I'm on page 3. On to page 2. Wow, I actually figured out the page fast this time.
Good job, Dean.
Air first. Oh, our friend from Ireland here.
There's the lads. Good evening, one and all. Good evening, guys.
Good evening. Hope you're doing well. And then a bunch of hellos all around. Everybody saying hi to each other.
So if you guys didn't get to see it, last week, Dane and I did a Reddit AMA on the auto detailing subreddit.
That was great.
You guys can go check that out too. We're planning on doing a couple more in the next couple months too. So if you're on Reddit or you follow Reddit in the auto detailing subreddit, we're going to be doing it again. So
yeah, I'd definitely like if some of you guys were over there.
Keep on touch of that.
Yeah.
Too close to retirement with PNS undressed or optimum power clean at 5-to-1 to clean the tires. Man, I like either one. Depends on how dirty the tires are. I feel like undressed is great, but sometimes overkill because you can't really dilute it that much. Whereas Power Clean is such a versatile product to be able to use it on the paint as well. I would stick with Power Clean for myself.
Okay.
But if I've got like Glenn's tires,
big knobbly off-road tires.
Just dirty, filthy tires that need a lot of love.
Yeah.
Undressed all the way.
Mm-hmm.
You know?
It's made for that.
Yeah, or like Nick Sequoia.
Yeah.
Like, it sees a lot of miles. It gets really dirty. It gets a lot of action.
Is he on KO2s?
He is.
Okay.
But I would use undressed in that situation. But for like your passenger car, Dane, if like you had your Miata or your Flex, I'd be like, just get Power Clean. Use it, dilute it, because you're going to be able to use it on bugs. You're going to be able to use it on the back of the car. You're going to be able to use it on the door panels.
Yeah.
Or the door jams. You're going to be able to use it in a lot more variations than just tires.
And the traction blocks aren't nearly as deep either. I mean, most of it is pretty doable compared to like an off-road style tire. Oh, Cole here. Just a nice comment.
Thank
you,
your
guys'
Cole.
products.
Appreciate
Thank you, Cole. Appreciate you. And boom. There we go.
My rag company blackout hat has gotten brown from sweat.
Oh, no. I imagine there's got to be some dirt in there, too, Josh.
Yeah.
Superado.
I love my TRC blackout shirt so much that I bought another one. I'm going to get those other 2 signatures on the TRC blackout hat one day. There you go, man.
That's right. Got to do it.
Sounds good, Al. Appreciate it. Yeah, I like that. I got the tombstone version of that.
Yeah.
That was the employee gift because that was a mistake from our shirt company. They instead of making our blackout hoodies, they made the wrong print on the shirt. I love that shirt.
It's cool, though.
Yeah.
It was a cool mistake.
Yeah.
All right. Ron
says, boutique products does not make someone a better detailer. Correct. It's a skill set.
Yes. Oh, yeah. Here we go. Don't sweat the technique.
Nope. Yeah, technique is the key. Again, if you're looking for my technique, it's on our FAQ page on the website. You can literally go to the FAQ on the website and pull up my entire SOP on how I walk through a process on detailing a car. You can print it out. You can laminate it. You can do whatever you need to.
Yeah.
Step by step.
It's there for a reason. So you guys use it.
Then he who shall remain nameless. Good evening and happy Friday, Junior, from the sunny and sticky south coast of Massachusetts.
Sticky coast.
We'll call you Sticks.
Not my favorite.
Hippolito Campos. Hi there. Greetings from Panama. What's up, Hippolito?
From
Good
Panama.
To see you, man.
Cool. Welcome, welcome. And more hellos amongst the crew out there. Hey, Lizard. Been a minute since I saw you in the chat.
Definitely techniques over products. You can take an average product and make amazing results. Correct.
You certainly can.
Yep.
And that's the thing is, like, I think anybody who claims that a product literally does 99% of the actual work there is just being dishonest outright. Well, it's not. Yeah. It's not ever going to be the case. No matter how good a product is, it's not going to be the sole reason that you get a result, because if you don't know what you're doing, it doesn't matter how good the product is, does it?
Right. Yep. Yeah, and a lot of people just don't like I don't know, we try to make and sell products that make it easier, whether you're a professional or a DIYer. If it's your first time using a product, or it's your 500th millionth time using a product, the goal is to make it easier for the detailer itself, regardless of your skill set.
We cover a lot of bases when it comes to the skill sets you're mentioning there, because we're not just catering towards only the professional, class and only the enthusiasts. Like, there are places out there where they try and focus on a singular niche. We're a little bit more broad, just honestly speaking there. But at the same time, it does present its own challenges where some people in one camp or the other may have questions because we're not more specifically tailoring it. So we've got to, this is where Q&A is very helpful, because we can talk to you about this kind of thing. And this is where definitely your comments and questions help us develop that stuff in the future as well. But at the end of the day, if you're wondering, how come you didn't say this on this product listing or whatever, we're trying not to alienate people if they're not familiar with the terminology of detailing and they're newer to this kind of thing. But pros can understand, like, when we talk about something, we're not trying to infantilize it either. We're not trying to, dumb it down for you. We want to be honest about what the products are, what they represent to a user.
Exactly.
All right. One who shall remain nameless.
Just popping in quick to say hi and wish you all a great weekend. I'll catch the reply at a later date. Good to see you, man. All
right. Well, thank you to you, too. And first, from Puerto Rico, Umberto.
That's right. Skills are better than products. With good products, you can do it faster and better results. But with bad products, you can do it with a longer time.
Yeah, more often than not, it's just more work. Although I will say one of the classic things we would always go back to when talking about microfiber in particular was, you do all that work and you spend all that money, all that time, whatever it is you're doing to get to that point where you get a beautiful finish on a car. But then you cheaped out on your towels and you have these just like scratch bright pads, we'll call them, that are just these cheap towels you picked up at a store that are like 100% polyester.
Well, yeah,
so and then you go over that finish, it hurts my soul. And even as someone who can give a pass to less than perfect paint, it's not going to like clinically drive me nuts the way it will
I look
some
at it,
folks I know.
Yeah, and
I still have a hard time with that.
And I say this a lot. I said this even on our TikTok live the other day. These are tools. Regardless, they are tools. And you can have nice tools, or you can have cheap tools, or you can have good value price tools, or ultra expensive tools.
Yeah.
You can have the high-end set that Matt carries and sells in his sets. You can have the full kit of everything top of the line.
Yeah.
Or, hey, if you're starting out, there's no problem getting Harbor Freight stuff to get the job done.
Sure.
But at some point, you're going to use that tool enough that you're going to realize that it comes in deficiencies. There are things that are happening because it doesn't do enough of what you want it to do. And that's when you step up to, oh my gosh, this tool is more ergonomic. This tool I love the ratcheting action, but the ratchet breaks in the first 3 months. Let me step up to this next level. Oh, this is nice. Now it made it last a year. Well, I have to swap out that tool every year, but it's not a big deal. Or, oh my gosh, this tool has a lifetime warranty. I've had it for 10 years. It's never let me down.
Yeah.
It works every single time. I don't strip bolts. I don't get any of that issue. Or screwdrivers. This screwdriver, the tip broke off, or this bent, or whatever, because it's a poor quality steel. It doesn't matter what it is. The tool is the tool. Yes, you're going to start out with newer tool or more inexpensive when you're starting out, but the goal is to grow into good tools. If you are to the point that you are like, hey, I'm doing top tier level work and I'm the best of the best. If you go into like a F1 race team and you look at their tool sets, or like our recent garage interview, you're going into a race shop and those guys at a restoration shop and they've got their tools set up. I guarantee you they may have some lower quality tools that they need. Maybe they only use them once a year or once every blue moon.
Or they're sacrificial tools.
Yeah, or they know it's going to break because they've got it. They're going to beat the snot out of it. But I guarantee if you go through their toolboxes, you go through the stuff they use on a daily basis, they're working with a top level, high end product. Yeah. And it's the same that goes with detailers. If you're going to be using poor quality stuff, simple stuff, you're going to have issues and it's going to frustrate you, and you're going to take a lot longer to get those things done. But if you have nice, good quality stuff, the job is designed to make it easier.
True. Well, let's see what else I got here. I've got the one who shall remain nameless.
I saw something where SPG had some concerns about crystal wash and the IK sprayer because of the atomization of the product compared to a spray bottle. What are your thoughts on using a sprayer? I don't know. I've only used crystal wash a few times in my career. I don't use it enough to utilize. I actually used it the other night when I was washing the Suburban because I felt it. Well, try it out.
People who use it seem to absolutely love it.
It's a great product on paper for what it does. As to the crystallization inside the sprayer, I could see that. I could see that it could do that. I just put it in a cheap Tokel sprayer and just a plain bottle and sprayed the side of the truck with crystal wash. Windows, wheels, paint.
Yeah.
Let it sit, let it crystallize, rinsed it off. But I used the whole bottle.
Yeah.
So what I mixed up, I used on the whole entire Suburban.
Sure.
So my bottle was empty, so I rinsed out my bottle and my sprayer after I was done with it, so I just have another empty bottle because I don't know if I'm going to put crystal wash in that bottle again. I might use it for something else.
Yeah, so don't let it sit.
Maybe. I think like if you're using it every day in a detail shop, I could see myself utilizing that product if I had a full-fledged shop and was using it more often than something once a week, because not every car needs that.
Well, and she uses the stuff often enough. I would defer to her judgment on that just because of how often she uses it. She would know if she ran into something that might look like an issue. So, realistically, I would listen to her on that.
Because it goes back to what I just said with a tool. Yeah. You're going to find out what works, what doesn't, and what idiosyncrasies each one has. So maybe that's right. Maybe the IK has a bit of problem with crystal wash sitting in it for too long. Yeah. If that's the case, maybe rinse it out. So
simple as that.
Hippo says, hey there, greetings from Panama. What do you guys recommend to restore black trim? Solution Finish.
Wow, we have something of a video coming out in
Solution Finish. Hippo is Hippolito. That's what you're going to use.
Good question, though. It was in the thumbnail today.
Yeah. Spencer, I'm the detailer using APC for everything because of my employees. I could do a better job with just O&R and a steamer, but my guys aren't up to my level, which sucks. Yeah, and that's the other thing. You got to train. The key to training employees also is to give them less choices. So if you can make it a simple procedure all the way across the board, they're happier, you're happier, there's less mess up, just done.
Well, yeah, because if you think about it, each time you give a option, you're introducing a possible failure point where maybe somebody doesn't make the best choice for the given scenario. Yep. And now you've opened it up to that. So if you can just, even if it's not ultimately the best outcome, you can get a pretty good outcome. And then whatever you're doing after that kind of cleans up whatever may have been a slight issue along the way. You're fine.
The only choice I gave my employees was glass.
Okay.
And I'd let them pick whatever glass towels they wanted.
Because everybody feels differently.
I let them pick their own technique for glass. I said, I'll buy whatever you want. You just tell me.
Yeah.
what you need. I had one guy that loved using Jersey bug scrubbers to clean glass.
Yeah.
I had one guy that loved Creature Edgeless to clean glass. I had one guy that loved the glass towels. Had another guy that loved basic pearl weaves.
Yeah.
Another guy that loved using just Huck towels. The cotton Huck towels from the hospitals. I said, I don't care as long as the windows are streak free and clean.
Mm-hmm.
I don't care how you get there. But that's the one thing that I will not it has to be like this. How you get there is going to be your journey.
Yeah.
And my guys loved it. One guy loved the Huck towel. Reason was he'd have it soaked in glass cleaner. My glass cleaners weren't ammonia or alcohol based.
Okay.
They were surfactant based. So they would throw it on their shoulder, be wet. They'd they'd throw it around their neck while they were trying to cool them off, right?
Yeah.
'Cause that was his wet towel. Sometimes I had a guy that would dunk it in O&R and just leave it, throw it around his neck.
Yeah.
And that was how he'd work.
Makes
then
sense.
he'd pull that towel off, wet the glass, and then he'd always have a fresh dry towel to dry the glass.
Yeah. Well, and I was
As
always,
gross as that sounds,
I was
but
always
still.
partial to the herringbone weave, like the premium style glass towels, just because I liked the extra. Some people look at it as a bad thing. They don't like the grab. They don't like the fact that it might roll over or cause friction.
Because it's
to me,
unidirectional.
It's getting more stuff off the surface when you do that. It's more effort. It's more work. But the end result, at least to my eye, was worth it. And when I was, early days and I was offering up these towels to people, there in the garage and kind of thinking about my own experience with using these different kinds of towels, sure, a terry might move a little smoother over the surface, but you end up getting streaks or something like that. And then you got to go back over with something else. Waffle weave gives you a nicer finish, that kind of thing. But to me, it was always about using those herringbone weave glass towels, the premium style ones. Just loved the way that it felt with the final result. But if you told that to people and you didn't explain, you're going to get some friction when you're using it. They get real upset if they weren't into that.
Yeah.
So it's just, that's where leaving it up to your guys' choice was smart, because you could have people who it makes sense to them. Oh yeah, just do this thing, follow these steps, you'll get it. But then they get really frustrated because they don't like that particular method, because they don't like the friction. They don't like the extra whatever. They don't mind doing an extra step with a different towel afterwards. And that's where people differ. So it's hard to just sell a one-size-fits-all solution to people on front like glass. Anyway, let's see. We've got any timeline when TRC will give Crystal Wash. What?
So he's talking about bringing on Crystal Wash. So
Crystal Wash.
I believe it's on the website, available, or is coming.
Unless I'm mistaken.
It's coming. It's been approved. So I don't know exactly in the timeline where it's going to go. I know it is available, I believe, on Amazon. Maybe it's in the store. You can pick it up there.
Yeah, definitely that.
And but it is on it's on the approved list. Of products that are
whether
coming,
you're seeing it on the final end or not yet is a different
matter. I'll have to check and see. But.
All right, Rick Smith.
After throwing a pet peeve, the people that cover their windows and paint with stickers and magnets. Just stop. Okay.
I mean, magnets shouldn't be that big of an issue. They come off. They're magnets.
Yeah, no. Right? Sometimes they don't.
No?
No, sometimes they stay on too long.
Well,
and they never get removed.
Colors around it. That's a different problem.
It breaks.
You're saying it fuses?
Yeah. Dane.
What?
People will leave them on for so long.
Okay, that's too long.
That's way too long.
The
same thing with stickers. They leave them on way too long.
No, stickers I've seen. I know. Trust me.
They'll do the same thing. So do you remember?
We live in Idaho, the land of guys with way too many bumper stickers on their truck cab backs.
Yeah. But Dane, do you remember the ribbon sticker, or the different colored ribbons?
Yeah.
Like the yellow ribbon and the purple, red, and all
blue,
that. Yeah.
Purple,
You could throw on the back of your car that was a magnet. Mm-hmm. You could buy it at the grocery store. You could buy it at like Target or and it would support our troops or this and this and this. And so, but people would put those on the back of their cars and they'd leave them on the back. They wouldn't touch them. They'd treat them like a sticker.
Right.
So many times I'd get customers that had bought a new car, turned in their car, traded it in, we'd get it. The dealership we'd go pick it up. We'd go to peel it off, take that magnet off. And we had a wall, like I had a metal plate in my shop, and my guys would toss any of the magnet stickers or stuff they would find. They'd throw it on this wall. And they'd go to peel some of those off, and it would literally break in, like completely broken underneath.
So what you're describing is the actual like top
the
layer
magnet
graphic
itself.
Separating itself from the adhesive and the magnet
Completely.
it's attached to.
The magnet
so it's
has
not the,
fused
that
to
was
the
where
metal.
I was getting confused. I was like, the magnet isn't like getting stuck to the metal.
No, it is. It's fusing because of the glue. So the clear coat would heat up. It would see multiple hot and cold cycles. The magnet would stay so perfectly bonded. A fine mixture of dirt, grime, sap, everything would build over time. It would create a glue, and it would suck itself to it. And then when you go peel it off, it would fracture and break like a cookie, right?
Right, okay.
So you have these chunks just sitting stuck on there. We'd have to get scrapers and actually try to scrape them off, but we couldn't get it off all the time.
So essentially, it became the catalyst for clear coat failure because it's a cheaper
They think
option
it's temporary.
than getting the full vehicle wrapped. And they're kind of like on the fence about committing to a full kind of thing. So they use the magnets as like a test bed. Like,
but those are also the same people that will get a vehicle wrapped for their business.
Yeah.
And then they'll just run it through the car wash multiple times. And 2 years later, that wrap has failed. And they're still driving around with it.
Yeah.
And it looks awful.
Yeah.
Because they're not cleaning it. They're not taking care of it.
Right.
People don't realize that you can treat wrap like paint and clear coat.
You can.
And you can get the maximum lifespan out of it, which
you
is
can polish wrap.
Which is 2 to 5, 3 to 5 years.
Yeah.
On certain surfaces, depending on the wrap. As long as you care for it and you treat it like paint and you care for it and you coat it and you do all the stuff. Otherwise, you get like mine, because once it fails horribly.
Yeah.
Very quickly.
Let's see. I've got Neil White.
Levi, not sure if this has been asked in the past, but do you teach detailing classes? You always seem to have great answers for questions. Yes, so I have taught detailing classes in the past. Originally, when we developed this building, that was what it was going to be. A plan was Anthony and I were going to be
way back
teaching detailing courses and classes. We were going to host a bunch of stuff in here. Then COVID hit. Then coming out of COVID and the growth of this business has made it so that we haven't had the ability to do that. That is something that has always been in the back of my head that I would love to be able to do, is to host some classes. Vicariously, I'm able to do that stuff through our friends over at MVP and utilize that as a training space right now, especially as this space is in flux. But no, it is something that, and I am a recognized independent trainer with the IDA. I have always wanted to do it and do it. I've done it for local friends and folks like that. So, and Spencer, Levi should $1,000 a person, 2 days at TRC, once a quarter, 6 people class. Yeah. Like I said, Anthony and I have talked about it. Jeff has already signed off on it.
Yeah. They're good with
for us to do it. It's just finding time because my kid's got bigger. Anthony's kid has a kid, and
his kid doesn't have a kid. He
has a kid. But I'm just saying, Anthony's got a kid, and it's just finding time out of our family schedules to be able to do this on top of the normal stuff that we already have is a lot. So, but no, that's why we've got our friends at Home to Suites. That's why we built all that. We tried to build the infrastructure, Anthony and I did, so that we could bring this on and do this for that stuff.
Yeah.
We've just fallen back on different styles and setups for that. So anyway, but yeah, thank you, Spencer. Jeff C, I almost feel like an IK sprayer with a conical tip is better than the IK sprayers at the fine mist setting. Correct. I like that too.
Go. Then we got David Cervantes saying, "What's up, guys?
What's up, David? How you doing,
man?
Nice
to see you, David." Let's see. We got Josh here.
Josh Levi, what's your go-to polish and pad for Honda and GMC black paint? I don't have room for a junkyard hood to practice on. So here's the deal, man. I hate both of those paints.
Yeah.
I like GMC black paint far better than Honda paint. I think Honda black is way too soft, way too bad.
Clear.
It's just bad paint.
FYI, when they're talking about soft or hard paint, they're talking about the clear.
Yeah, Hondas suck.
Yeah.
I will say that after 2018, GMC with their clear, and it wasn't just black, it was their entire color line, all the clear, because it's the clear that is the problem, not the color. Right. But because it's black, you can see it far better, the results or the reflection. So I really just like Last Cut and yellow foams, and I use some of the white Rupes foam. I use the yellow foams from Rupes, and then I also have black foams from the HDO line in Lake Country. Those are my kind of main go-tos, the yellow, white, and black when I'm working. Sometimes also is the orange HDO, but I just use Last Cut and one of those pads and call it good. And if I can get any more out of it and become a two-step, like I just did my parents' truck, and theirs is a black Honda Ridgeline, and man, it was awful. It wasn't fun. I hadn't detailed it in like 5 years. I put Legend on it the last time I did it for him. 5 years had gone by. My stepmom was like, "Hey, I need you to do my car again."
Yeah.
I was like, "Oh, it looks great." And then I polished them like, "Oh my gosh, like this is crazy." So that's what I use. That's what I like. The other one I really like for it is micro cut and finish. Just micro cut. Yeah. Kosh Chemi micro cut. Killer paint like that with like a black HDO pad. Woo! That stuff looks good. Works really well, especially on that soft stuff.
Mm-hmm. Jamie the Cleaner. That's a styling and profiling shirt right there, Dane.
Yeah, I almost wore mine today, and I decided against it.
That would have been pretty funny if we both showed up like that.
I literally
we don't coordinate this
stuff.
No,
but we wear the same shoes sometimes. A lot of matching shoes.
I just, I made a point to wear this shirt today because I thought, we'll shout out. We like Jamie.
Well,
gotta give him a shout. Then I've got David Cervantes here. Oh, commenting. This is kind of stuff I like to hear because I'm going to be honest about the main show. I miss the frequency of them. However, the format and length are great. So he's talking about the new one like he likes.
I guess I really just miss the shenanigans and random tangents.
So on that note...
Hey, we got a surprise for you, David. Get ready for Monday.
That is kind of what I'm trying to give you guys a little bit of a taste of again. For those of you who missed that, you have to show up on Monday. Find a way. Just turn your phone on, go to the stream, follow it when we go live on Monday, because I'm trying to find a way to give the people who missed that something, but also making sure that we don't fall into the trappings of...
the hardest part is the frequency.
Just recreating it. And the big thing is the frequency. So I would love to be able to offer you, in addition to the Q&A, another weekly thing you could expect. However, I've been told by folks around me not to promise a weekly thing with this Monday thing. This is simply a trial that I'm trying to get off the ground. But if it does well, I would say there's a good chance it could be repeated more often than not. And ultimately, I would like to be able to offer something like that. That's not just the Q&A. That could also be weekly. And that's kind of the point of doing like the just cell phone style live stream and stuff. The like lower key recording.
Yeah.
We can kind of have some shenanigans, but we're hanging out over in our new storefront.
Yep.
Really, really cool opportunity. So those of you who are listening, take note. Hit the notify me button. I want to see you guys there on that live when we do it on Monday. I believe I have it set to 11 a.m. because you got some stuff going on in the morning. Mm-hmm. Otherwise, I would have gone earlier. But I'm trying to give you guys the opportunity, so you got to back me up here. You got to help me out in order for us to do this more.
and we understand. You guys know we've been in a big state of change here at the Rag Company since TRCMA. One was obviously the remodel of the control room, the podcast studio, and then the studio. So that has, thrown a wrench into what we've been able to keep up with on. Second, it's summer.
Yeah.
I've been going on vacation, taking my kids and my wife out on vacation. Dane went on vacation. Anthony has been injured.
It's really a lot of the difficulty has just been like Anthony is out. So my only solution to things if Levi's gone is, well, we either don't do a show or I find somebody to help like fill in the gap. Like I got Lucas and that was great.
Yeah.
But, I don't always have the opportunity to pull somebody from something. They have other jobs. And they have other things they need to be doing.
But I was a detailer and I had my appointment set where that's how I counted my weeks.
Yeah.
Ooh, Thursday, this podcast comes out. Wednesday comes out, this podcast. And I would plan it where I was excited for that Thursday because it meant end of the week.
Yeah.
It meant something fun. I was excited to do. I loved my morning podcast that I listen to every Monday morning. Yeah. Kind of kicked me off for the week. And you get that closeness and that feeling that you're part of the team. You're part of the group here. You're getting to hear about people's. That's what I loved. And I loved that banter. And for me, when I had my shop, it was radio from hell. and it's a local radio show in Salt Lake, one of the longest running morning radio shows in the history of radio. But 3 folks literally telling news and stuff, but they would talk about their weekends. They'd talk about silly stuff. They'd talk about their families, their kids, things they got into. And that was kind of how, when we started doing this, we kind of fell in that same trap, which was great and kicked us up and got us to where we were and where we are. But as the company has grown, there is a certain need and necessity to put out a more polished, a more grown up, more
also
proper show, but at the same
frankly,
time,
getting more new people to check out
growing
stuff.
the channel.
And the podcast, while it was definitely fun for us, it wasn't necessarily bringing in new people. It was just the same people showing up every week.
No,
which
that we didn't
enjoyed.
like. Yeah, we love that.
We love that, but as a company, we have a responsibility to try and incorporate new people into this, and we don't want to alienate potential new people with so much lore and inside jokes that people who are like checking it out go, oh, this is like already established. I can't I don't feel welcome. I can't get into all this. No matter how nice or welcoming we try and be, there's just a simple fact that some people just have a hard time with that. They're like, oh, I already missed the boat.
I don't get all the jokes.
I missed the boat, and now I'm not going to be able to catch up. And
but to the people that started listening to us, joined up, started listening, and then took the time to go all the way back 300 episodes and listen from the start and catch up, man. We need to create like a badge or something, a patch for them that have made it through the entire series.
For real.
Because that's a work. So anyway, but yeah, tune in Monday. You guys are going to love it. We're going to have some fun. And see how we go.
I've got 2.5, 3 minutes and 2 pages.
Let's go blast. All right, Dane, let's do it.
Let's go.
Hans, is there, I sold 2 to others and smelled like they were burning. Send them back. Got new ones. Mine doesn't stay on a set RPM. Will be sent in for repair next week. There you go. Hans is sending his in for repair for the root beds. Anton, that autograph photo just bugs the hell out of me. Yeah, it's Anthony. It's actually a white elephant gift that he did for one of the Christmas parties. Kevin Meiser, modern hats don't really use cardboard anymore. They're plastic. Yeah, this is plastic.
That makes sense, yeah.
But yeah, so that's Anthony, white elephant gift. He autographed and signed it. It's a picture of him when he was working at his previous job as a fitness model. And he gave that as a white elephant with a gift card on the back. Glenn thought it was hilarious, bought it. Traded the person a white elephant gift for it. And
it's not Photoshop. It is real, but he found it embarrassing, which is why the rest of the team thought it was so
we
fun.
really just jumped on it because we told him it has to be in here. Yeah. If we take it down, if you take it down, it's going to come back. So it's one of those things. It's an office inside joke.
All right. Moving on.
Sorry,
here we got a cruise. Masterclass.
What's
up? Hello, Masterclass. 100 is the average here in the Philippines. Whoo boy, Anton, that's too much. Half of the year. Yuck.
That's a lot. Yeah.
Hans yelling muppers. Yeah. Love that.
Ron is hanging out with the French Canadians wearing Speedos.
Oh boy.
Who's Kevin?
And we got
David Levi, can you explain the function of a cleaner wax? Should I be able to apply my Stjarnaglass polish like a week later?
That was the most confusing thing to me when I was new to detailing and learning this
stuff.
I didn't understand a cleaner wax because I'm like, wait, isn't wax supposed to be the protective thing you put on at the end?
Not always.
So I was confused initially.
Cleaner wax has the ability to remove oxidation. That's all the job is.
Because of the solvents in it?
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
It's the carriers, it's the abrasives, but it is designed to remove oxidation. It's an old school product, but that's what it's for.
Yeah.
But yes, you'd be able to apply your Stjarnaglass polish like a week later or right after.
Then I'm on to page 1. Here we go. We're going to cruise through these.
Kevin, hi. Enjoy your vacation, my friend Ron. It was good to see you guys last year. That was fun.
No, it was fun to see you guys.
Kevin and Ron. A few barely there dental floss bikinis, though.
Oh, okay. Well, that happens sometimes.
And then I'm here on Sunday. Wifey's staying a couple extra days with a friend. Nice. Enjoy it, Ron.
Yeah.
David, can I use the Pearl applicator to apply Defender to a window? Yes, you can. I have a job in 2 days which requires this, not a windshield. Yeah, go for it. Okay. Yeah.
Boom.
Too close. Thank you for the answer. Now, Dress versus Optibond tire gel. I love Optibond. Dilute it 1-to-1 and use it that way. You can put it in a spray bottle. It's easy to use. You barely use any product. It grows. Think of it this way. It expands. So don't use too much. Spray a fine mist on the tire. Go to the next tire. Come back and look at the tire. The first tire you sprayed. So spray all 4. Come back to the first tire. Look at it. See if you need to apply more. If you don't, cool. If you do, spray a little bit more, but don't overdo it because that stuff grows. It expands when it comes in contact with rubber. Super Auto, we had magnet signs on the doors of our install trucks that did exactly what Levi just described. Yep.
Yuck. Hey, it's John.
John,
hey, John
saying hello. Evening all. John, I hope you're enjoying your first year not running wax stock.
Yeah, how
being
is
able
that?
to just show up as this weekend. He's going to be
Free
showing
as a
up
bird.
on Friday night and getting everything set up, get the booth all put up, and he's not going to have to worry. Very nice.
That's
I'm sure
awesome.
PJ's probably losing his mind, but
That's
hey,
a lot of
you
work.
can just cruise in, set up your stand, chill out. I hope it's far more relaxing this year for you than in years past. Glenn, good afternoon, gentlemen. Checking in while on vacation. Daughter's softball tournament. Awesome, man.
Thanks for checking in, Glenn. Always happy to have
see
you here.
Glenn. And then Hans, John, see you Sunday, man. I'll be flying in tomorrow and have a fun day with my girl. Nice. Hans. I hope you enjoy it.
Yeah. Got a little back and forth.
And then John saying, looking forward to seeing you, buddy. Wish we were there, man. Seriously. Jay Hall, what about using Rupes Advanced with Honda Black paint? How do you tackle that? Same thing. You just figure out the pad combination that works. Rupes Advanced is a little easier because it's not a cut or a polish. It's actually a protective agent, so it doesn't actually cut that much. So pairing it with a yellow foam pad, you're probably going to be all right. But have a light, take a look, see if it looks right. Many times it'll be just fine. Other times you may be wanting to switch down to a least aggressive pad, so something like the yellow or the white foam. Or, like I said, swap over to an HDO, orange or black, and you might get better results. So,
for perspective, Levi has had a lot of experience with Honda Black paint, but probably one of the most high-profile examples was he was able to work on Matt Mormon's, Obsessed Garage's S2000. That S2000
me and Bradley
CR,
Nielsen of Armor Detail Supply.
You guys
two of
worked
us are the
on
ones
that
that polished that whole car out.
Was that paint not?
It was a nightmare, but
scary.
it was me and him that finished it and got it done.
But Matt trusted you guys to do it, and he
Yeah.
wouldn't trust hardly anybody
to
do anything like that. And good to see Anthony is excited for Monday. So, yeah, you better be here. I put you in the thumbnail for a reason. Glenn.
Do have a detailing question for Levi. Well-versed in exterior coatings and carpet protection, but what's your opinion of coating the rest of the interior? Glenn, like me, we have kids. I recommend coating the leather, coating the carpets, all that stuff, because of the fact that you have children. My son eats food, wipes and smears, ranch, dips, fry sauce, greasy oily fries, whatever he's eating. He wipes his hands on the seats. He wipes them on the door panels. He wipes them all over. He puts his feet up on the back of the seats. He does all this stuff. The thing I've noticed the most is if your fabrics are coated, if your plastics are coated, your vinyl's coated, your leather's coated, it cleans up so much easier. I know that I can grab a towel. I can spray a microfiber towel, spray it with rinseless practically, or even Cockpit or Express, and I can spray the towel. I can do a quick mist on the seat, and I can rub it, and I can get 90% of the dirt off, including on my tan fabric on my car.
Okay.
So that's the biggest thing, is it cleans off easier.
Okay.
Especially with kids, because they get stuff gross, man. So yeah, have a new car coming with white and black interior. I'd coat the snot out of everything on the inside, mostly just for your sanity. And I told this to Anthony. Once his kid gets bigger, like she's already doing her thing, eating in the car, all that stuff. But to keep him from going oh my gosh, she left a yogurt packet back here, or like Augie the other day stepped on an applesauce packet, squirted applesauce on the seat. Like there's the sheer fact that it's coated makes me not lose my mind, because I go, I can just wipe that up.
Yeah, stuff will actually come off the surface.
Cleans right off. Yeah.
All right, just a couple more.
David, going to sleep. It's midnight, and I need to get up at 6. Have a nice weekend. I'll see you on the Monday.
All right.
Thanks, David. Appreciate it. Have a good one, man.
We
Sweet
appreciate
dreams.
you being here. Now go get some sleep. All right. Then rounding
John,
out.
looking forward to seeing everyone at the Clean and Shiny stand. We have new Rag Company products on stand. That's right. Everybody go check it out. And he goes, I wish you were all there too. It feels wrong that you're not on your way over. I know, man.
No.
It's weird.
It feels wrong not seeing you.
Yeah.
So
it's an odd year. But like I said, I'll be at Auto Mechanica. So for folks that didn't make it to Wax Stock or didn't see me at Wax Stock, I'll be at Auto Mechanica.
Absolutely.
So.
And on that note, that wraps up our comments and questions for today. But thank you so much to everybody who participated today. If you're listening to this sometime in the future, just know this is a regular thing here at the Rag Company podcast channel on YouTube. We host Q&A Thursdays every Thursday, with the exception of like holidays or something comes up where we got to move. But we really do try and do every Thursday from 2 to 4 p.m. Mountain Time. So if you catch us on our channel, we'll be live. We'll be talking about detailing stuff. And if you want to get your questions in, we're here. It's like an open telephone line. Just let us know. Pop in the comments and say something, and we'll answer your questions.
Yeah,
otherwise, I'm leaving you with the Monday thing.
Monday.
Go over to, well, don't go. Come to this channel where you are right now. Save the notify me button for Monday's live stream. It's going to be happening around 11 a.m. Mountain Time. You won't want to miss it. It's going to be a little bit of a throwback, and I want you guys to be there for it. Also, you got to check out the new storefront here at the Rag Company. So I want to see you there. All right, guys. Have a great weekend, and we'll catch up with you.
Have fun at Waxstock to everybody that's going.
Yeah. Have a good Waxstock. See ya.
We'll see ya.